Nova is here, he's the leader of Alpha, leading the charge. Yeah. With his main man Heavy, hit up right by, hit his side at the raid. Together they fight, and guards their corridor, rich and valor, fighting for good, they refuse to back down. In this war for justice, they wear the crown. Nova and Heavy Hitter, they rise from the dust. Fighting for their cause, they never back down. With big boy Leroy, his feet firmly underground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. Through shadows of doubt, they light up the way. With power and purpose, they seize every day. Their enemy tremble in the dark. Nova and Heavy Hitter, our heroes embark in the big galaxy that's covered by night. They bring the fire and ammunition to ignite. For it's Alpha they serve, their honor was true. Nova and Heavy Hitter, they rise from the dust. Fighting for the cause, they never back down. With big boy Leroy, his feet firmly on the ground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. For every shadow, they bring the light. Nova and Alpha, defenders of the right.
Hey kids, this is Pulse Ray Vision coming to you live from Cuatro Cinco Studios, my mom's basement. And wow, we got some crazy news. The evil address has been hacked successfully this time, and we're about to find out where all that dark is going. I mean, woo! Very excited. As you can see, whenever the collective is working on stuff, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 5 days. So I'm in the hot tub, and Pulse Ray Hefner. I'm in the hot tub. I get this message, and I'm like, oh, I've got to go. So here I am. I told you guys I would go live and let you guys know in Telegram if anything happened, and definitely has. I sent out a bunch of links. The link to join is in Telegram. The link to join is on Twitter. So jump in there, jump on screen, and just let me know what's going down, kids, and what you guys think about this. Red Squirrel's in the house. CryptoCat46 is in the house. Let's see what the collective does today. We're back already. Hey, Pulse Ray Hefner. If only. I kid. But again, shout out to Randy Hilarski and his No Permissions group. One of our big backers and a good part of our special community here. All right, I'm not going to wait any longer for people to pop in. I'll have to just keep checking the green room, but I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to go take a look. I know all of you guys already have your laptops and your computers open, and you're like ready to mint and scrape. So here goes nothing, kids. So if I hit scrape, okay, 3-cent fee on the network and 22,000 pulse fee on the button. Hit sign, hit confirm. Dude. Oh man, what is going to happen? Let's take a look at the pay special attention to the treasury up here. 180,657 is where it's, and it says, show me those. Oh, transaction failed. Oh, monkey. It may be because everyone's hitting this button right now, but we did get confirmation from the collective that they were able to successfully scrape the evil addresses lottery. So We'll just give it a second. We'll refresh the page, of course. That might help. We'll try scraping again. It's thinking about the fees. 4 cents now. Instant confirm. Transaction created. I don't know if it's paying that fee if they're not going through or not, to be honest. I'm wondering that. But again, 180,657. You guys try to remember that. I'm not going to remember that very well. In fact, I want to stick it in here as well. Welcome to the stage, Matt War and Don.
Yes, sir.
People are saying it's still failing. So,
what?
Yeah. But we know that the collective was able to get it to go through.
Oh yes,
that one failed too. So I tried twice with 2 fails.
So everyone knows what the collective pulled off, though, right?
No, not yet. We're waiting to see where the coins show up.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, as you can see, I jumped out of my hot tub when I heard.
I see a rope.
I was like, time to go live, baby.
Damn straight.
All right.
Matt War, what's happening, brother?
Hey guys, how are you?
How are you?
Doing real good. Trying to get this figured out. I'm pretty new to it, so it may take me a minute.
I recall your messages on the stream yesterday. Did you end up or maybe it was the day before? Were you able to scrape, or were you able to?
Oh yeah.
Because you had 60, right? You said you had 60. Or were you 90?
Yeah, 60 fuel cells, and I won over 11 tokens. They scraped just fine.
That's awesome, man. And
I'm
remember,
pretty happy about that.
The ones that didn't win are still in the biggest lottery, which happens in 10 or 11 days now, 10 or 9 or 10 days, and that's the one that pays double what you just paid. So if you had the same amount of fuel cells win on this next round, then you're getting double. Then you'd get like 22 tokens instead of. Well, actually, I might be speaking too early because we want to see what this hack does, right, Max?
Yeah, we definitely do, and I know they got to go through. I'm wondering if they added the fee manually.
So you might be even happier, Matt, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, awesome. Matt,
that's
you
good.
Might have to go put on.
We use the dopamine.
Oh, dude, this is going to be dopamine central. Anyone that's in this journey, anyone smart enough to have been in this journey, that's not a dig on anyone that wasn't able to enter for whatever reason. But anyone that was smart enough to enter this journey, oh boy, they're going to be this third drawing is going to be something else.
Yeah, you guys had mentioned something about big news coming, and hey, for you guys that this drawing, but wait, there's more. Are you guys ready to talk about that just yet?
Well, that's what I think.
We're trying to give everyone the opportunity to scrape because we know that the collective was successful, but possibly there's something on our front end that's going on. Hey, Shill Gates, good to see you, man.
Shill Gates, what's happening, my man?
If you're not driving in traffic or kicking a girl out of your apartment. So if you have more than 50 fuel cells, you are good. Let me just be very, very clear. You don't have enough dark. You don't have enough fuel cells. You don't. I don't care how many guys. I mean, look at Randy Larsky. Randy Larsky's sitting on silly pile of fuel cells. He doesn't have enough.
Right.
The evil address clearly doesn't think it's got enough fuel cells and dark.
Oh yeah, he's hungry.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in here. I stopped sharing screen. I'm going to see if I can send a message out to the collective.
Okay.
Of this stream link, so they got their top person looking at it.
Yes.
But in the meantime, what are your hopes of where this dark goes when we scrape it?
You asking
and
me?
Why? Where and what? Well, not. I mean, kind of you, Don, but pretend, Don, that you haven't been in contact with the collective for months. If you had not known what was going to happen to the dark, where would you want it to go and why?
Well, I mean, so basically to summarize, we have the evil address who has won a shitload of lotteries. I mean, he got 65% of the supply, and he's minting every single dark into a fuel cell. So He's not a dumper. He's never sold a token. It doesn't look like he ever plans to, but he's got a scary amount of dark on the outside of the field that he's won in the lotteries, right? And and he hasn't scraped it, which we saw as OPSEC. Which I think the collective saw as an OPSEC risk for evil address, meaning like, hey, dude, that's a lot of stuff that maybe we can go take. So I don't know what they're doing with the lottery winnings, but I mean, it would be incredible if there was a way to distribute those to members of the collective somehow.
Did anybody
People with
did anybody write down the number of the lotteries to see if it changed?
I didn't.
The number of the lottery?
I can go look at what the number is, but I don't know what the number was. I wasn't on stream yet.
Okay. Because I wrote down, I think I put that in the comments. Let me see if I hit the button to send it. Yeah, so the 18657 is the number in the treasury. We got another guest here joining us. Dude, where'd you get the grill?
You went to Johnny Dang in Houston, baby.
I bought it with all my dark profits.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Did you pick up an air fryer while you were at it? Because we know a lot of people are dumping for air fryers.
I think that sounds like a plan.
Max, I think mine. Remember how my AirPods have been giving me such garbage issues whenever we talk? That sounds like a pressure washer.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go through with the collective suggestions, and because remember we said air fryer, AirPods. What else did we say? There were a few others, but
Nike Air Jordans.
Yep, Air Jordans. But the new AirPods Pro. I mean, the fiance hooked them up. They weren't with the dark profits, but they easily could have been. So
Tracy says the number in the treasury hadn't changed, and then she says the lottery did.
Oh, wait a minute. The lottery changed?
Yeah, it was 14,707, and now it's 14,789.
Okay, so what you're saying, Max, is that so far it looks like the collective is adding all of the evil addresses winnings to the lottery for the next drawing.
It looks like
the winnings are going to go fucking bananas. Like,
how does that work?
Well, we know that the evil address hasn't scraped any of its tokens, and it's got, I think we guessed close to 14,000 on its own.
14,000 just in winnings.
Yeah, just from winnings. It was sitting on like hoarding, like puppy guarding, like a hen sitting on her eggs, but not putting them to, like, he wasn't scraping them, he wasn't minting them or anything. And the collective was like, well, that's bullshit. There's all this dark matter that's locking up off the market, not being used to mint or anything. And it looks like they decided, believe in yourself says bananas.
Hey, you got infinity screen going. I don't know if you're sharing a screen.
Yeah, I'm going to share it right here. I keep trying to get mine to go through, but then again, it could be all of us hitting this button at the same time.
Is it 50? Oh, that will definitely do it. But is it 50 every time automatically, or do you choose the number?
Yeah, it's just like when we, not many people know this because they're not big ass whales like Randy Hilarski or the Pink Mist whale. But when you try to scrape your winnings, you can only do 50 at a time for gas. Right. That one fell too, unfortunately. But yeah, you're excuse me, you're doing batches of 50. So it's carried the same batches over to the evil address.
So wait, Max, are all 14,000 able to be scraped and rolled?
Yeah, I don't think there's a limit on this button.
What?
I think it's like the mint. So you know how we can mint the evil addresses dark.
Of course.
As many as it's got allocated for that journey.
Yep.
Journey 3, I believe, is 54,000 dark. So you can hit this button and mint 500 at a time until 54,000 are minted.
Right.
It's pretty sweet. And it looks like this put these in the same batches that we have in the lottery. So if I won more than 50 fuel cells, I can only scrape 50 at a time.
Right. Yes.
I'd have to scrape twice if it's more than 50.
Yeah, it makes sense. So it's the exact same limit as that.
Yeah. Oh, and that has gone up. So 14,707. We'll keep an eye on it and see if it goes up anymore. See, I mean, granted, the collective has hacked this and got it to work. But we want to make sure everyone in our group, everyone can publicly scrape and pump this bag, because we were looking at 7.5 dark per winner, but this is going to skew that dramatically.
So you're saying so if we're looking at 14,000 dark in the lottery in the biggest payout already, and you're saying if the Evil Address was hacked by the collective and they're able to scrape his lottery winnings and siphon them into the lottery, into the biggest drawing, and is there a limit to how often they can scrape and roll this Evil Address's fuel cells?
I don't know yet. I don't know if this is like a one-time thing or if they're going to leave that up there for all of the journeys. But
Because
if
that
they
would
did
double.
leave it up there for all the journeys, that would substantially increase. See, it
would double it, right,
already
Max?
went from 7.5 to 7.56. So it's already climbed per winner of J3.
Well, look, there's 14,000 in there roughly. You're saying there's 14,000 roughly estimated winnings on the Evil Address's fuel cell. So are you saying it will double the payout?
It could possibly double. There are a lot of people that were airdropped. Maybe there's a lot of people that were airdropped that still haven't scraped. They got the airdrop of the 2 Michael Jordan rookie cards, J1.
Dude, imagine getting a 15x on a minting one.
That one will just sit there earmarked until they come and scrape it, or if they never scrape it, it'll never show up. So I just figured, since the Evil Address is minting half of the fuel cells, basically, it'll win half the lotteries, including this lottery. So it'll get paid back some of this.
Sure.
But if it does, and the collective leaves the evil button live for the next journey, then we've got, then it gets really interesting, because even though it would be snowballing the lottery.
Correct. So, but let's just keep it simple for anyone following. There's 14,000 in the lottery right now. If 50 at a time are chipped away all the way up to 14,000, and would that mean there are 28,000 there would be 28,000, assuming those numbers are the accurate numbers, in the third drawing, which would mean instead of 7.5 dark per fuel cell winning, it would be a 15 dark per winning fuel cell. Roughly. It could be.
Yeah, that would be insane. See, and my scrape failed again. So we got to make sure that not just the collective can do this with their hack, but that, everyone in the community can get in there and get a chance to punch that button.
Absolutely.
And they're back. What's up, Ted Nelson? Good to see you.
So, dude, imagine minting a fuel cell with 1 dark and then winning in the biggest drawing and getting a 15x instantly without even counting the yield that basically doubles your number of dark in a couple of years.
This is where it gets, I can't use the R word, but silly. This is where it gets really silly. I'll say that for PC. If this snowball's big enough to where the big jackpot, like the winners in the third lottery, if it gets big enough to where they win 20 dark, because you have a 1 in 20 chance of winning, basically, right?
Dude,
you would basically be breaking even and playing with house money at that point. Again, it's random. Like I've seen people mint like 60 fuel cells, say I have 1 jack. So I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm just saying by the law of averages, the numbers of your chances of winning, you got a 4.8% chance of winning something with each fuel cell.
Right.
And so a lot of times when I gift family or friends dark, I'll send them 22, and that gives them like the 20 plus an edge. So I'm hoping they win at least 1 lottery and get the dopamine hit that Matt Moore was talking about earlier, that sweet dopamine hit of getting paid. What do you think, Shill? You've been quiet. You might be like I said, you might be kicking a girl out of your apartment. You might be cleaning your fingernails. I'm
soaking it all up. I'm loving what I'm hearing.
Dude, Randy minted 3,000 in this last journey.
Oh, dude, he's gonna
Let's do some quick math.
Randy's gonna lose his mind if the biggest drawing is double the size, 15 per fuel cell. I mean, that's, dude. I love studying expected value in statistics and thinking about
144 winners is what he's projected at.
Yep, and so
3,000 minted.
those could be at 1.75, 3.5, or sorry, 1.25, 3.75, or 7.5. But the 7.5 seems like it's no longer 7.5. It's already 7.56, just with a couple of the scrape and rolls being hit.
And it looks like the collective has not continued hitting this button. They're probably, like I said, trying to make it public for everyone, because everyone loves to. If there's a button in crypto, people will push it, which is scary as shit when it comes to vaporize. Because do not hit this button. Do not hit approve treasury. Do not hit vaporize. You will nuke yourself. Completely nuke yourself. This is a great way to see your yield if you click view selected fuel cells and put a number in here. But dude, if you touch this button, it's way worse than emergency end staking your hex, man.
Well, okay, yes, true. However, there is yield that's grown in there, and so the function works. If you would nuke yourself because you'd be getting rid of all future yield, and that's ridiculous given that it's likely to double in the next couple of years, just looking at the math. However, if you needed to, for whatever reason, if you were at Journey 1 or a Journey 2, well, Journey 2 will pay out at the end of the third drawing. So if you were Journey 1, you could vaporize your fuel cell. You would still get, it's like what, 0.026 dark or something like that, 0.25 or 0.25.
0.231.
0.231. So you'd get 0.0231 dark. So you'd nuke yourself. You'd get the little bit that's grown in there. But remember, this plant has an accelerated growth curve that's on the inside of the fuel cells. So the rate at which that yield grows as that treasury bloats, that 3% of the treasury every 45 days starts to get really big. And then when you look at the numbers yield wise, essentially, if you're in the first few journeys, in a couple of years, your dark on the inside basically doubles. So even if you win no lotteries whatsoever, in a couple of years, you basically have 2x your dark.
Yeah, I'm seeing
no matter what, with no winnings.
Here's a good example of what you were just talking about. You can see these 4 fuel cells were all minted in Journey 1. And at the end of Journey 1, they all got that little, just dust paid out to them. Yep. And then 2 has nothing in it because 2 doesn't get paid for another 9 days and 21 hours.
Yeah.
So 9 days and 21 hours, the treasury pays out and the next fuel cell window minting phase opens. So you can you can mint again for Journey 3 in 9 days and 21 hours. And that window's only open to 11 days. We're trying to fix that, make it so you can pre-mint or some way around that so people can, once they win the lottery, when they get that dopamine hit, they can go buy more tickets. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it is kind of cool because it's like, if you know, if you're in our Telegram, if you're in our group, if you're following us, more than everyone else that's walking in the door, that every single day I get a message saying, I found these 2 dark in my wallet. What do they do? So it's definitely first mover advantage, and you don't have to be a first mover in crypto to make money. You can be the friend of a first mover.
Yeah,
and we're all friends here.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying, you can follow wallets and see some interesting stuff. Ooh, Patrick.
Yes, you can.
Patrick's a little juice
boy.
out of the wagon. It's a saying I just made up. So anyways, yeah, this is very interesting. I'm waiting to hear back. I think that the collective is obviously they've been working since our first stream.
Yes.
And trying to hack the evil address. It seems that they clearly have hacked the evil address, but the button is not working publicly yet. So we'll just have to refresh and wait. And hopefully the collective doesn't take a nap on us and go to bed, because then we would have to wait another 8 hours to stream or something like that. I just tried to mint one more time here.
As far as gas optimization, things like that, sounds like that's the issue, because we have confirmation that button has been successfully clicked, and it looks like about 80, is that right? About 80 dark have already been added to the lottery from the evil address's winnings that he so irresponsibly did not scrape. We've been watching all of our streams. We keep taunting them about, dude, leave those winnings out there to just leave them hanging. And the collective does not like you. You know what I mean? Collective does not like you. And he listened, but he didn't scrape. He got cocky.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing
looks
is,
like some of his dark's already been taken.
we have several people in the audience that have actually read the entire 25 chapters of the book, the first draft, including Ted, Patrick, and CryptoCat.
Then
They all got paid pretty handsomely they got some dark and some points, and they ranked up pretty good just for leaving a review. They just have to read it and leave a review. And some of them were like, hey, you misspelled these 3 words. And some of them were like, why the hell is so-and-so on the ship? How the hell did they get there? And I'm like, that's a great question. So there's like, those 3 guys have read the book, but in the book, you have Alpha Corp, right? And Alpha Corp is doing exactly what the evil address is doing. It's hoarding all the energy in the universe. So there's this big energy crisis. People are dying. People are going hungry. No one has enough power in their homes. And so it's because of Alpha Corp. There's this evil corporation that has gotten in bed with the government and the Federation, and all they do is jack and control and manipulate the market for power, for dark matter. Because dark matter in this universe, dark matter is, you crystallize it, you put it in a fuel cell, and it makes unlimited energy. And of course, Alpha doesn't tell people this; it keeps it secret, just like someone in our regular life here would do, some evil corporation. I could name a few, but other than that, that's what he's doing. He's hoarding. And in the book, the collective is fighting to break its stranglehold, to break its monopoly on the energy. And we can see that happening out in real life, in game theory, in what's going on with the tokenomics. It's kind of cool to see the 2 worlds parallel,
That tells me that there might be a bunch of Easter eggs to give people a heads up if they read the book.
Yeah, there might be. It's
like it. If everything's parallel so far.
The other thing I heard was recently that the collective was telling me that the pink mist well, like they didn't see the pink mist well coming. Right. So they're like, hey man, this is, first of all, thank you so much for providing liquidity. Oh, and I got to show you guys this. It is super, super sick. I'll just freeze my little face here and show you guys what happens on the chart. So wait, here's Pink Mist Whale token, which its only utility is to buy it and send it to the Pink Mist Whale to say thank you. Kind of like they used to sacrifice children a long time ago to the sun god, the rain god. We sacrifice these tokens to the Pink Mist Whale to make him keep coming back and being awesome. But if we go to dark, so here's the dark. This is the dark pulse pair right here. And as you can see, every time we've had a lottery, crash. Yep. Not just in our price, but the whole market. This is like Hart's Law.
Yeah, we expected it to look like this. If the market was going well, we expected it to look, sort of like this. But it just happened to be that every time that one of these things was scheduled, there was something that happened right on the day.
Now look what happens when you price it instead of dollars. What happens when you price it in pulse? That's a pretty chart.
Yep, it is.
That's a damn pretty chart. 13,000 pulse per dark, and now it's 344,000 pulse per dark. And this is fun. This is cool. There's a pair that's even sicker than that. And that, my friends, is the hex pulse chart. Right? Oh wait, no, the dark hex chart. Let me pull that one up, because it like I said, the pink well has suffered hundreds of thousands of dollars in impermanent loss. So look at this. He started with
he must love dark.
He had over 400K. He had over 400K just a few days ago when this thing launched, and now he's down 100K. But at first, I thought that people were dumping, they're dumping dark, obviously, but I thought they were dumping it for hex. They're not. Look at what happens to this chart when you flip it priced in hex. Mama effing Mia. You know how people are saying, I wish I had more hex. I wish I had more hex. I wish I could have more hex so I could stake it and get more T-shares. I get it. I've been there.
In this case,
for those that got dark, they just went up. Geez Louise, let me do the little ruler thing here. So you're looking at that can't be right.
Yeah, no,
80,
it's about that. It's about
8%?
that. A little less than 10%. Yeah.
A little less
But
than
they're up
10%. Maybe it
10%
just
if
looks
you held dark.
amazing because it's on just a small chart.
Yeah, but still, it's. I mean, listen, it's this is since the inception of the pool. So basically, dark has gone up 8%.
So it is up 8% against Hex, which is not bad considering Hex is
He's made some moves.
the weak hands are being shooken out for the 4 trillionth time.
Yes. What was it? What was it? 200 days for the weak hands? What was the? Or 22? What was it? 24 months? What was the?
It was like 365 days.
Yeah, for the
to shake out the weak hands, and it was like, all right.
Is that about 1,000 days ago?
Yeah,
yeah. 1,000 days ago, we shook out the weak hands, and we're still shaking, baby.
Yeah,
we don't stop shaking. Now, you'll notice recently that Richard Hart or the OA or the daughter addresses, they all took a page out of the evil addresses playbook.
Right.
They staked the shit, and they soaked up all the inflation, right?
Yeah.
So because they shook out all the inflation, they're basically hoarding the hex that's coming on the market. Yep. Same way that the evil address has been hoarding all the dark on the market. Mm-hmm. All the stuff coming out of the treasury, all the stuff coming out of the lottery, it's just hoarding. Yeah, 52 weeks to shake out weak hands. Now shake out the strong.
Yeah, 1 year, yep.
She's going to shake everyone out of this damn tree.
Then we shake out the weak strong
the tree's going to be the OA. What?
We shake out the weakest strong hand now.
Right. Yeah. Sounds like a 3-letter agency. Yeah, there's some alphabet boys that are not playing nice in the sandbox right now. I'll just say that. But at the same time, what if the Pink Mist Well took a page out of Richard's playbook when it comes to liquidity?
And he was to remove his liquidity?
Yeah, let's say that the Pink Mist Well wants to do some shaking. What would happen if the Pink Mist Well that has $300,000 of liquidity right now decided to shake the tree? He has the dark. He has the hex. He has the liquidity. What in the world would that look like if the Pink Mist Well were to shake the tree? Just going
off knowing liquidity. I mean, you have thin liquidity. If there's buy pressure, that buy pressure starts rubber banding and sending price upward substantially.
Okay,
which could create a splash and get people interested and create even more upward buy pressure.
Correct.
Okay, I've got the collective just sent me a message. They want me to try some stuff on my end. So I'm going to turn off my mic and camera. You guys talk about, hot chicks and hot dogs. All this shaking is giving me a headache. And good afternoon, boys. Hope you're all well. A little hungover. Oops, I've been hungover. Maybe both. All right, cool. I'm going to drop off stream for just a second, see if I can get this squared away. Okay. I'll take off the infinity screen, and then you guys can chat. It's like coffee talk back on Saturday Night Live. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
That show is
rutabagas. What the hell are they? Discuss.
So I'm guessing Max is getting some things tried on his side, which is excellent news. He's in touch with the collective, so he is working on getting that scrape button to work properly on the front end. So how do you feel about that, Matt? With that, what are you anticipating is going to happen?
If he removes liquidity with a little bit of buy pressure, we could see the price double or triple. Really
quite easily.
Easy. And with not a lot of green candles out there, we might get people aping in on this. Like if we become the new shiny for a little while, sky's the limit.
So true, man. It was so funny. I don't know if it was Sami or if it was Shill. It might have been. I don't. Sheila, if you can hear, you can answer. But I saw a little meme. It was a little comic that showed. It was a hex comic, but it showed two windows, like two cashier windows, and one of them said hex it at 2 cents, and it showed like Richard sitting there with a big suitcase, like big suitcase of money, and then it showed, and he was the only one in line, and then he's looking over at the line of about 1,000 people just crammed in line for this other window that said hex at $5. And it's just so interesting that people love to buy green candles. They love to buy things
real,
when they're more expensive. They like to sell things when they're cheap and buy things when they're more expensive. It's sadly the way most of the market is. They like to, buy green, sell red, and that's not how you're supposed to do it.
That was definitely Sami.
Yeah, it was Sami.
I remember that. I saw that.
Yeah, it's so true, man. It's just like when Hex went to 50 cents. I remember it's everyone was fading Hex when it was low. Everyone, the entire market was fading it. And then of course it ended up becoming the best performing asset of the market. And everyone was trying to buy it at 50 cents. Their buy power was limited, at a 10,000x higher price.
There's a fear dynamic there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the people are scared because it's going down. They think it's just going to keep going down. So they're afraid to buy it. But then when they see it proven that it's going up, they'll buy into the pump and end up getting more wrecked than if they would have bought it when it was going down. 100%.
100%. And it's just psychology. Like market psychology is such a fascinating thing. It's crazy. It's what I'm going to be interested to see is just in this entire ecosystem, what once this chain takes off and goes bananas, how many of the strong hands are going to have stayed when you look at like the original sacrifice set and then anyone else that might have been smart to buy during the bear at even cheaper prices than the sacrifice set got. And after just a little pump from that bottom, how many are going to still be in and be participating, or how many would have bridged everything over to Solana and got wrecked on shitters?
Or I know I'm not going anywhere.
Tires. Yeah, exactly.
I just came from Solana, so
dude,
I don't need it. I mean, yeah, I still have investments over there too. Like
likewise,
I'm covered on multiple chains, but I'm definitely not going anywhere.
Maybe you guys can help me out with a rumor I heard.
Let's hear.
Have you guys heard about RH bridging all the SAC funds over from Ethereum to Pulse Chain?
Really?
Wait a minute.
I heard that. It's a rumor. I can't corroborate, but I heard that from a relatively reputable source. So I wonder if you guys had heard anything, because like that kind of rising tide would raise all the shit.
Fill me in because I wasn't here for this. So there are SAC funds on both Ethereum and Pulse Chain, and the SAC funds are in ETH.
Well, before there was all on Ethereum, we sacrificed on ETH, and it stayed there. He hasn't moved it. He definitely hasn't sold any.
And you could only sacrifice ETH.
Go ahead.
You could only sacrifice ETH. Like you couldn't do other ERC20s.
No, this was before, I believe, before Pulse Chain even existed. Before there was a Pulse Chain, we were sacrificing for Pulse.
Yes,
right. However, but I'm saying it was only Ethereum, or there was
only Ethereum to have it on. So yeah, that's my understanding.
The chain Ethereum, but he did have approved ERC20s. So basically, anything that had, you could send anything to the sacrifice wallet. However, he made it pretty clear of which there were multiple chains you could sack on. You could sack on BNB, you could sack Bitcoin, you could sack anything. What it would do is it would take the average price going 15 minutes, the time weighted average price with a 30-minute window, 15 minutes on either side of your sack of when you sacked. So let's say, obviously, you sacked $1, but 15 minutes before then it was 75 cents. 15 minutes after then it was $1.25. Well, you'd still get that dollar because that's still the average price. And sure. But it did accept a lot of other tokens. If it was some shitter that didn't have liquidity, then it was made clear, like, you're not going to get, you're not going to get the same points for it. But there were a lot of things you could sacrifice. But yes, it was the majority was on Ethereum chain.
Ethereum.
And so my understanding was
saying, Matt. Or no, go
ahead. It didn't get sold. It just kind of sat there, and it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
So if we see that start to move, that could be something.
Well, yeah, it went to die, right? And then he bought Ethereum. Then he did the Ethereum trade at what was it, 2,700? Are either of you familiar or recall what?
I'll pull it up. Hold on.
Okay, perfect.
There's a website that like tracks it. I gotta find.
Oh, hell yeah!
I think it's called like Who is RH or something like that. I forget. I have it bookmarked. I just gotta find it.
Ooh, let's see. I'm gonna see if I can find it too.
Richard Hart Treasury Tracker.
And that's the site's.
So he bought at a little under. Oh, the DCA entry price was 3,773.45
on ETH.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Not 2,700, 3,700.
Oh,
yeah. So the sacrifice funds are currently down. They're down
a lot.
A lot.
They're down toward the lowest they've ever been. They're not at the lowest, but they're pretty close.
They're toward the lowest, yeah. It's and obviously, so the rumor you're hearing, Matt, are you hearing that you're seeing movement already, or you're hearing that once that ETH, if it ideally rubber bands like we're hoping it will, it's performing terribly. It's down 85% on Bitcoin right now, just even in 8 years, it's at the same point it was 8 years ago in the BTC, in the ETH to BTC ratio, and so if that goes up substantially. Is that what you're saying? The rumor is that you're hearing that once that goes up, it could be bridged over. Are you hearing rumors of imminent bridge over?
No, it's more like a chess move later on. After this happens,
yes.
and this happens after he's done this, after he's removed, the liquidity and
yes,
done these other things. That at some point, that's the move.
For anybody that wants to check it out, just real quick, it's called www.lookintorh.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to pull this up.
.com.
Lookintorh.com. rh.com.
Now there's a bunch of wallets listed there, so I'm thinking you could probably go check those and see if funds are moving.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
However, I would love to see. Those funds coming over now, great to have. What is that? It's almost $500,000 coming in, 171,000 ETH, but down 28% in all time. So now we know that there were billions sacked. We do know there were billions sacked for Pulse Chain, or at least it was over $1 billion. And so this isn't all of the SAC funds, even when it was at its peak, which was, let's say 184,000. That's like 640,000, roughly 645,000 or 645 million. And yeah, we would love to see that at that was this number right there. Yeah, sorry, I was doing math in my head, but yeah, 645,592,000 exactly. And yes, this was in March of last year. I remember when this was happening, all these different purchases. And oh my gosh, dude, I would love to see that number quadruple and then come over onto the chain where we see a few billion come on over. That'd be bananas. Or
the scary part for me is like ETH has been kind of underperforming this cycle.
So
compared
badly.
Yeah, like everything else is kind of like cracking all-time highs, and ETH isn't even close to its all-time high.
No, it's like 50% down almost. It's like 40% down. It's crazy.
But even the recent highs weren't that close. Let me check. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, they haven't even broken. It hasn't once even met its all-time high in this cycle.
But Richard just had that one tweet that he had about the layer 2s like kind of fucking up the party.
Absolutely, dude. I'm disgusted. The thing about the layer 2s that or I shouldn't say the layer 2, a lot of the people behind the layer 2s is there were so many of these folks that were talking so much shit on Pulse Chain and the whole concept of a stateful fork, right? And then they basically go on to create empty forks, just like Binance. Well, not forks, I should say layer 2s, right? That settle on Ethereum to layer 1. But again, the thing that they were upset about Richard for is the same thing they're doing, which is basically just diluting ETH. All that money, it's just value extraction on the layer 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't that they help gas fees, but okay, I don't think people care much about the price of gas fees if the
point was to try to fix the gas fees natively, not build centralized layer 2s on top of Ethereum and dilute the price.
Exactly, dude. Like ridiculous.
It's the same thing. I just saw it on the other day on a website. They showed just how much these people have been dumping, on like in Ethereum. Like Coinbase alone has dumped like 50% of the fees that they've earned and just cashed out.
Dude.
And it's like we're talking about like billions of dollars, I think. I don't remember.
Oh,
I wish I could
absolutely.
find the website.
It would have to be. I mean, I would just imagine just Coinbase's fees that they just get on ETH trades. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
it's bananas.
from Base.
Yep, because they add their oh yeah, it's so what you're saying from Base is layer 2.
Yeah. So they've been
oh
dumping ETH Base. That now shout out to I'm not affiliated with any of these people,
sure.
but Arbitrum actually hasn't been dumping a lot. I think it was like 15% or something like that. Like it was a respectable number where it was like, okay, like they've actually kind of been supporting Ethereum, but Coinbase
Right.
has been dumping on everybody's heads. I'm gonna go try and find it on Twitter.
Oh, dude, that would be great. That would be great to see.
I think that's where I saw it. It was a tweet, but it had like a whole like chart of all the different amounts. Coinbase dumping.
Let's see. Okay, Red, and while you're doing that, I'll read some of the comments. Red Squirrel said everything got sold into stables except Hex. Red Squirrel, and then he said, and maybe ETH. I don't remember. Then, yes, it was into stables. You're right, Red Squirrel. And then what happened is those stables, which were DAI. He was the biggest DAI holder, and those were used to buy. That's this ETH trade that was made. The stables went in to buy Ethereum at 3,700. And then then Poultry Vision saying that is in crypto time though. Tracy G crypto time. Kate Fagor, I'm on saving time. And then Pat, last one. And then go ahead. Shill is I can't put these on screen unfortunately, but it says Patrick's Astro and stuff says, doesn't Ethereum have a major update coming in March? Ooh, I'm not aware of exactly what that update is. Are you Shill or Matt?
No, but here's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
right?
going.
The layer 2s have taken root to the degree now that they're incentivized to not have Ethereum be fixed. So
correct.
I'm really concerned about the amount of pressure that they can put on Vitalik and essentially just keep it the way that it is, because they now have a very strong business model that's pulling in billions out of this.
Yeah, they got revenue coming out their ass.
Yeah, and they're not just going to give that up. Like,
fuck no.
I mean, it's not up to them truly, but they can apply a lot of pressure.
Certainly. And you're that's interesting when you say it's not up to them, because that's a good point. Let's see if is there, I don't know if there, I'm sure there's a way, but the beautiful thing about Pulse Chain is it's a layer 1. Like, no one can fuck with that. It settles to its own layer. It I mean, Pulse Chain, it's literally, again, it's a layer 1. Like it's a native chain, right? Whereas these layer 2s, they're built, they were allowed after the merge, I believe, is what it was. Are these layer 2s? Could these be, if Vitalik wanted, is there stuff that he could do to decrease their incentives or essentially turn them off if he wanted to, if things weren't going in the right direction? Is that even possible?
I would hope so.
I
am not like the tech back end guy. Like I kind of just go off shit that I see on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm not. That's why we're just spitballing, just asking, because I
would assume there's a way to disincentivize them and make it to where it's no longer profitable.
Right.
But I also think that that's something that he would have to get consensus on through all the voting and whatever.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of those people that have a lot of voting are the centralized folks behind these layer 2s.
Damn it, dude. I wish I could. I was gonna comment on it too, and I didn't, because like back in the day, I used to be so outspoken. Like I literally would just every day I don't want to say go to war, but I always spoke truth to power, and like I would attack all these. That's why like I'm blocked by CZ and all them, because like I used to call them all out. But now that I'm kind of like doing my more professional business thing, it's like I realized back then how much that hurt my brand and my business by making so many enemies just by speaking the truth. But it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because they didn't like me calling out their shit. But I was gonna post underneath it and tag Brian Armstrong and kind of call him out, and then I was like, nah, let me chill. So I would be able to find it a lot easier right now if I had done that. But
this is true.
I can't find this tweet.
I'm trying to think of well, first of all, if if yeah, I mean, certainly I've definitely seen you go to war recently with Hoskinson, which was very cool to listen to. And and, and so I'm saying, if back in the day you went to war, I would love to see what that looked like, because
Well, yeah, because like
you go
back
to
in the
war.
day, like the Hoskinson thing, that was like a knee jerk. That was like a little bit of the old me coming out, because
Yeah.
it made me so mad that he was like blatantly lying, and I could tell that he was doing it. I didn't know at the time why. People showed me later Richard kind of tearing Cardano apart with facts, but like
Yes.
that video has bothered Charles to this day, and it's made him like do everything in his power to try to hurt and destroy Richard Hart. And
Facts,
so
dude.
like so I didn't know this at the time, but I knew that he was lying, and I could tell that he was gatekeeping, and I could just see that he's a smart person. Like, let's not get that twisted. So like that's why it upset me, because he was smart enough to know what he was doing, and he was conflating the two issues and making it seem like, oh well, the SEC case isn't getting dropped because he has criminal charges in the US too. And I was just like, what are you doing, dude?
What are you
like,
yeah, that's not true.
That's not real.
Yeah, that's not even real.
So I made a tweet. I didn't expect to like get into it with him. I made a tweet about it, and I was like, yo, I'm a Cardano holder. I've been a bag holder from the early days.
Likewise.
So I was essentially saying, like, this is a bad look. Like, I don't respect this, and I'm really considering selling my Cardano. And he came in all salty and commented below, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Right.
I was like,
whoa.
Wow.
Okay.
Because in the tweet, like, I wasn't super disrespectful. I kind of like made the points, and I was just like, you're lying. Either you're misinformed or you're lying, is what I think how I worded it.
Right.
But like it wasn't like, oh, you're Charles Cuckinson or anything like that. Like it was business, like respectful. I was calling him out, but at the same time, like it didn't warrant that type of response. And I remember I said to that response, I said, you're better than this, Charles. Yep. And then like I think he blocked me after that. And then like it just turned into this whole thing, right? So then I'm just chilling. Like a couple weeks later, I did a bunch of memes. Like everybody went on the attack against him after that, and I kind of did feel bad because I didn't intend for it to turn into like everybody swarming him, but I kind of caused it.
Right.
And like so, like somebody like sent me a link, and they were like, it was him on a Spaces, and they were like, yo, Charles is speaking, you got to check this out. So as soon as I click in, it's him like essentially like not literally crying, but like whining about being bullied and how terrible all the post chain people have been to him and all this stuff. And so I DM'd the host, and I was like, yo, listen, I'm the reason that all this happened.
Right.
Pull me up. I'd like to apologize to Charles. Let's do something cool for crypto. Yeah, I'll extend the olive branch. I'll tell him I'm sorry on behalf of the post-chain community. Yeah, and we'll just have like a cool moment where everybody kind of joins forces. And in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, well, Cardano and post-chain can kind of align, and we'll bury the hatchet, right?
Right.
So I get up there, and I start apologizing. And, you know, totally like that was where my mindset was. Like it was, you know,
you were on peace. You were on peace.
Yeah, I was like try to make everything cool. And I could feel like the resistance. Like at first it seemed like he was kind of open to it. And then he just kind of started going left a little bit, and then started throwing a little dirt here and a little dirt there. And I started going like, he started talking about Roger Ver and CZ.
Yep.
And how they've been so unfairly persecuted and all this stuff. And in my head, I'm going, all right, well, Roger Ver has tax charges, which are essentially the same thing that Richard has in Finland, which you're saying is this horrible criminal thing. And then CZ literally just got out of prison because of the corrupt shit that they were doing. And they literally, like, his charges were 10 times worse than anything Richard's even been accused of. Never mind the fact that Richard hasn't been found guilty of anything.
No, not at all.
So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to him like waxing poetic about these political prisoners and stuff. And in my head, I'm just like, what the fuck? So I'm like, dude, like, what I posed the question to him. I was like, okay, so why are you so defensive of these people, but you're not defending Richard? Like, it's essentially almost apples to apples. Like, you have a blind spot here or something.
Yes,
and he's
bingo.
like, well, they're my friends, I know them. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, so then I
We're
start
talking
pointing out
principles
which I didn't realize how close he was with CZ, but I realized after the fact why. Almost all of Cardano's volume is on Binance.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
but so I said, like, CZ is known for running a very shady business. I think I called it corrupt or something, which it is. Binance in the early days was super corrupt. That's why he just went to prison. Like,
correct.
They were laundering money and all types of shit. So, like, which is cool, fine, whatever. Like, crypto was the Wild West back then. Like, I don't have an issue with that. It's just, let's call a spade a spade.
Right, and let's be fair and let's be consistent. And
well, yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. It's like, be consistent. I'm not throwing Roger or CZ under the bus saying they're bad people or anything. I'm like, I want them to be free too. I'm just essentially saying, let's keep it consistent. You're not being consistent.
Exactly. And dude, and of all the people talking shit on Cardano, dude, if you watched anybody's streams in the last 4 years, like Crypto Banter, I mean, you name it. Altcoin Daily's always been like pro, but I'm talking countless streamers and communities have shat on Cardano for the last 4 or 5 years, longer than that even. And so maybe Pulse Chain community was extra loud, but it sounds to me like
you guys are crazy, by the way. Like, I've slipped up like 1 or 2 times and said like one potentially negative thing, and like the wolves just came out and swarmed me, and I was just like, oh damn. Like, so I can't even imagine what it was like for him, because you guys actually generally tend to like me. So like, for somebody that you don't like.
No, dude, that's a good, and listen, I mean, and the community, it's like, there are core beliefs that everyone seems to rally around, but then there are certainly those of us like again, though, I mean, I've been a Cardano bag holder for a long time, and I just keep that in its Cardano bag. That's not something I'm trading. I'm just letting it do what it does, right? It's something I told myself. It's just small percentage I was just going to put in just to see what it did. It's an early chain. It was one of the bigger movers. It was new tech. Charles has a cool history in crypto, and so I've never had anything against Charles personally, although with Richard's points of why he was ripping Cardano apart, I thought those were valid. I mean, that's one of the things that's so fascinating about not having Richard around streaming in this market. I mean, Shill, you probably remember back in 21. I know you weren't a Hexagon then. I don't think so. Or maybe you were, but you weren't. I forget what you said. But in 21, I remember literally when Mario Nawfal was having Richard on Spaces, dude, those things ballooned to 20,000 plus almost instantly when Richard would be in the room. And I mean, he'd be in there debating Eric Wall. He'd be in there debating other, Bitcoin maxis that are now all trading shit coins on Bitcoin, and talking shit about, some of the degenning that had happened on other chains that Richard had seemed to, they thought Hex was a degen play. But those streams, dude, those things were ridiculous. And I'm just saying, Richard with how much energy and push Solana's gotten, and kudos to Solana. I remember when just with a fraction of the volume that their chain just shut down, and but Richard out there speaking on streams, calling out Cardano like he did, which prefaced the whole incident to get all the Hexicans rallied around Charles, and then like you said, completely shitting on him like in it. And see, I didn't even. I know people were talking shit. I wasn't one of them, but I couldn't, like you said, I need to go back and look at just how they came at you, just to see what. Well, I've seen some of how they come with you, but just to see how people went at Charles, because I certainly have
the things with me there. Like when I got upset about, because like I said, I call out what I believe are injustices or things that I don't agree with, and I bite my tongue a lot, especially now that I'm in Hexaco, because I've seen how you guys operate. Not you specifically,
I know
but
what you mean.
The community. Like, there's a lot of shit like that I don't say because I don't want the blowback.
Right.
But like, essentially, what I was saying was I was still kind of learning about how all this stuff functions, and I knew about early end stakes, but I didn't know that you could lose 100% of your principal for early end staking.
Right.
And that didn't sit well with me. I saw it on a Telegram bot that I follow, and it was an early end stake. And the guy actually, this isn't how it works, but he actually ended up owing money, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
his penalty was so big that he lost all the rewards, which I completely agree with. I don't think you should get any rewards. Like, you should be
Right.
punished.
Right.
But he lost also his principal, his entire principal, and then still technically owed the contract money, which you don't have to
Right.
pay. But
Right.
you know, it's like, to me, I was just like, damn, like I wasn't okay with that. And when I brought it up, I used the wrong word when I brought it up, and everybody just came from my neck.
It wasn't
Sure
it. Was it penalized that everyone jumped on?
No.
I said it was predatory.
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 That's
not a really good use. Like, people don't like.
Well, yeah,
this
I
kind
was
of
using it in the
predator.
traditional financial sense, though,
Correct.
like a
Yeah.
predatory
Yeah.
loan, something like that. Like,
Yeah.
But they heard the voice of Chris Hansen when you said predator.
yeah, they thought I was
See.
calling Richard a predator. I was talking about the contract being predatory. I wasn't speaking about Richard himself. Like,
Hey,
No,
do you
listen. Yeah.
do you guys want to see something really fucking cool?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
All right. Let me show you something really fucking cool right now.
Always.
Evil address. Refresh it so it says 50. So scrape 50 times scrape. And it was like 30 cents earlier when I was scraping some of my winnings. Now it's 60 cents. So it's definitely gone up. And this doesn't include this was $1, but it's a little less than $1 now, 22,000 feet. So I'm gonna hit sign, confirm, and we'll see if at the top of the screen it'll either say failed or it'll say success.
by the way, I got to give a shout out to Rabby Wallet. I know they don't really mess with post chain all like that, but
Likewise, I'm with you, dude.
I love that wallet.
I love that wallet, dude. What are your thoughts on
Evil scrape successful?
Yeah.
Lottery. Look, it's up to 1546. What was it? 14707.
Dude, it's already over 13
Oh,
more dark in the
So we
like
can all go
guys-
do this now.
go abuse this button, guys. Abuse this button. Melt.
Push it till
We're
it
gonna
breaks.
get stuck transactions. We're gonna push the price up to like $1.
Dude,
Watch
let's hope that it is what we're hoping, and that I mean, yeah, because the more that, I mean, who knows how long the collective, who knows before evil security jumps in and he starts scraping things for himself. So the more the collective goes in and mashes that button, theoretically there's 14,000 dark that can be deposited into the third drawing, so that it looks like lottery payments will about double.
I'm just gonna watch the lottery page right now because I know I'm not the only one smashing that button. I'm just gonna be reloading this lottery page, dude.
Hell
15,578 now.
Yeah,
So
dude.
As it goes up, now remember, there's only 1,945 winners
Right.
in each of these drawings because that's how the math works out, right?
Right.
So whatever this amount is going to be split between less than 2,000 fuel cells.
Yes.
And almost 2,000 fuel cells are already kicked out on Journey Lottery 1 and Lottery 2. They've already won, so they're out.
Exactly. So
your chances are actually higher on this one.
Yes.
And your payout could be a nice set of dark. It's paid out in the most scarce substance in the universe.
Correct. And so listen, if anyone minted during J3 and they didn't win in the big lottery, they didn't win in the bigger lottery, which it shows on screen, both have been paid, then that's actually good news for you, because that means you're literally still in to win the biggest. And this is just a cherry on top. Again, this lottery part is just, it would be like if you staked hex and then you got your, once your stake ended, you got your hex back. But during that time, there was a lottery that you basically were entered into just because you staked, and you had a 1 in 20 chance of winning anywhere between 1.25 your principal hex that you staked, or all the way up to now, it looks like in this next drawing coming up to 15 plus times the amount of your principal that you staked. And that's just something that you have a 1 in 20 chance of winning. That doesn't even affect your stake. Your stake is still your stake. You're still earning your yield, but just this extra cherry on top of the lottery That's what it would be like. It'd be like you stake your hex, and just because you did that, you're entered into a 1 in 20 chance of getting anywhere between 125% of your initial investment back, all the way up to 1,500% of your investment back, without even counting your yield in your hex stake and your principal getting back. I mean, that's crazy.
And now it's up to 15.7.
Dude, that's
Let's see how high this will go, man. Until this, because eventually you'll hit this button, and it just basically it'll say failed. Like,
dude, Max, I know what the problem was, dude. I think I figured it's what I was telling everyone yesterday. You just had to fucking click harder, didn't you?
I wasn't. I know. I
weren't
put
clicking
my
hard
mouse,
enough, dude.
I put my mouse on the floor and I stomped on it with my heel.
Yeah, good. And
that time, I don't know if you guys heard that, but that's the trick. Stomp on those. I'm telling you,
you just got to click harder.
I can't resist not hitting the fucking button, dude. Like, if it's there, I gotta hit it.
I'm gonna wait till late night when it's like fractions of cents per gas and just spam the hell out of it.
I think that's what they did with the mint button when we were minting, was people were waiting for those low gas and then boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, because those minted out quickly. His fuel cells were minted out quick. So now let's put this into perspective. So the evil address got cocky, but he got a bunch of dark upon inception. Then he published his game. He said, "Hey, here's how I'm playing the game, guys. I'm minting every single dark that I have, except for what maybe it was like 500 of them total. Like he's minting every dark that he has." Yeah. So and not only do we just have to trust him to mint them, but that the second window that's grayed out, we don't even need to trust the evil address, because we can mash that button whenever it's available and mint every single one of his fuel cells to make sure he keeps his promise. It's like, okay, you say you're going to keep your promise. You're a smart contract, so you're programmed to keep your promise, but we can actually just force you to keep your promise. That's what that second button is. Now, the first button that's on top is basically saying, hey, evil address, you fucked up. You didn't scrape your winnings. Now, I want everyone to know, you don't need to scrape your winnings. You're not at risk. Don't worry about that. The evil, your wallets that you have the keys to, no one can touch your fuel cells or anything. They're as secure as anything else on the blockchain. The evil address, the way he's set up, it seems like the collective was able to exploit this. And again, if you read the book, you realize that it goes in line with things in the book. But they were basically able to hack the evil address, and not only can we make him keep his promise, but all of his lottery winnings, at least at this moment, we can scrape and roll them back into the lottery. We can basically be like, hey, your winnings, it's cool that you won the lottery, but let's put it back in for anyone that hasn't won yet, himself included. He'll win some of that back through his third drawing fuel cells.
But if the collective beats it hacked, it doesn't matter if he wins.
Exactly. If this button is available in perpetuity, then you're basically telling me that the evil address can theoretically eventually have all of his lottery scraped, maybe up until the last several journeys where there's very little dark available in the lottery contracts, right? I mean, it's much smaller.
Houston, we have a problem. I've got $500 of Dragon. I got $51 of Dark, but I got one buck of Pulse in here, so I got to re-up.
Yeah,
and get some more of this sweet juice, the gas, to get these to go through. That's why it wasn't letting me.
Dude, shout out to Dragon, by the way. Shout out to Dragon.
What is Dragon?
Go ahead, and I don't know the history behind. All I know is I some showed up in my wallet.
Check this out right now. The Pink Mist Well, 8090.
Yep.
They've got 269 million of the 1 billion Peak Mist Well tokens that we made just to sacrifice.
26% of the supply.
Nice.
Just to sacrifice. And then Dragon sent 10 milli with love to the Pink Mist Well. So I mean, like, good on you guys. I've sent 200 J1 fuel cells, because for every 1 million Pink Mist Well you send the Pink Mist Well, I send him another J1 fuel cell. Mm-hmm. So basically another Michael Jordan rookie card. So I sent him 200. I got to catch up and do another 69. Oh, I hope it stays at that for a while. I love that. 269. Yeah. But anyways, that's something I want to show you guys.
So the show's question, show was asking about what Dragon was, just real quick, because I don't know the whole story behind Dragon. I know someone in the community, was it one of the tokens they created?
Yeah. One of my friends reached out and said, hey, I've always wanted to create a token, and I saw you slaving away and losing money and getting in fights with devs for 4 years. And I thought I want to do that. So this piece of shit
I want to create a
goes
token
on
in 30
goes
seconds.
on tire. Yeah, he goes on pump.tires, 3 clicks, and he has fucking dragon. And I'm like, I was so fucking mad. I was so like, I love him, he's my friend, but I was so pissed at him. I was so mad. I was like, how the I nearly killed myself to make a GDPRC 20, and you went click clack clock.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but yours does a lot more.
Mine is connected to a lot of smart contracts.
Very true.
But still, like, he created one, and now he can manipulate the supply. He can bootstrap devs. He has he's got like a little plant growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been killing myself to get a little bit of maple syrup out of this maple tree.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
But I love it. I love it. I wouldn't change a thing. I am still bitter. I'm still salty about that shit.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's again, I remember when on this chain, there were very few community members kind of willing to step up and create tokens. Of course, there were some that were doing it on ETH, and that was kind of controversial. But again, once I think people realized, wait, well, hold on, we're not just an ERC20 community anymore. We're literally a layer 1 blockchain community. We've got to build on this chain. Like, that's the whole point of it, is like build on this chain, develop it, etc. And as people know, we had our dev literally, because I'd been saying forever on these streams, and well, maybe behind the scenes on these streams, and maybe I announced it on the stream a few times, but saying, dude, as much as Pump Fun on Solana is just jam full of scams, it's a necessary element in crypto, in the sense that people that are using it, like, there's no reason they're going to leave Solana if they love doing that, if they love playing in those tokens, because there's strategies to play in them. Obviously follow the right people, get the token contracts early, buy them, or watch on the site. But I said our chain needed a Pump Fund equivalent, so our dev was literally about a week away of having the fork completed of Pump Fund, and it was going to be launched, and it was going to be launched basically as a subdirectory or subdomain on AG Project. But then Pump Tires was released, and there was no need for us to do that anymore. However, there are some tools that are often used on with Pump Fund that are in the process of, maybe as soon as tomorrow, being completed, that would be also hosted on the site, that would allow, well, it would be a different site, but it would redirect anyway, that would be a tool that many use on Solana. And I don't want to give too much more info than that, because again, we want to be the first to market with it. But the whole point of it is, the fee that people would have to pay to use said tool would basically, I don't know if it's buy and burn dark. I think it might be buy and mint dark, but it would basically be buy pressure on dark. And so if we are able to pull off this tool, and it works as seamlessly with Pump Tires as we anticipate that it will, then that's just a cool thing, just because we have a badass dev.
I really hope it's what I'm thinking.
I'm given your knowledge over on Sol, I'm betting you could guess exactly what it is.
There's one thing that I've been wanting for a while, even not completely related to Pump Tires, that's from Sol, and I think if it's what I'm thinking of, I'll be really happy.
Well, so and maybe we're on the same page, because this one doesn't necessarily have to do with Pump Tires. It's something that people often use with Pump Fun when they're doing launch.
You guys are saying way too much. If people are listening,
it might start with
what's going on.
It might start with a B.
Okay. Whoa,
that's exactly what I'm thinking.
And it's over.
Dude, that could be done. Right. That could be completed in the next couple days, and then I don't want to say the domain, but the point is, that would be, of course, anyone else could create one as well. But if we're first to market, that instead of paying like $1,000 in Sol to use said tool, it'd basically be like you've got to have $1,000 in dark to use said tool, and then that would be the fee, and then of course the rest of it would work.
Crazy. So, I'm so happy about that, because when I first got here, I was literally like interviewing devs trying to build it myself, not because I was trying to make money. Like, I literally just want that tool.
Right. I mean, the
Yeah.
thing is because again, what people don't realize is people are like, oh, now we've got to pump tires. Now everyone from Solana can come over. I mean, first of all, there's some different things like Phantom Wallet just works so well. It's got so many cool features. Right before Max had jumped back on, that was one of the things I was going to say, Shill, is that, you were saying shout out to Rabbi, and I agree. And Phantom is just such a sick wallet. I think, like, at least with the way it works on chain, they can integrate so many things. And it would be cool if we had something that was I mean, like it'll show the trending tokens like right there in the wallet. It'll get like like, for example, a pump fund token. It'll show in the Phantom wallet if you're going to buy it. It'll show you its progress on the bonding curve, like inside the wallet, And so so much more functionality, at least as it relates to Solana with that wallet. But point is, with this tool, yeah, dude, it would be when people think that now we're as competitive as Solana because we have pump tires. It's like, yeah, but there's something that people like to use on Solana when they do pump tires, and it's not. Some use it nefariously, and some also use it just to have a bigger launch, right? And so it's yes, scammers often use it, but point is we want to bring the tech over to the chain that is not existing yet on Pulse chain that is needed to compete with some of these other protocols.
Hey, I need a nerd to help me out here. I'm getting this transaction failed in simulation right here.
Ask ChatGPT.
All right.
I don't even.
Are you guys watching the lottery contract balance?
Is it just jumping up like crazy? What's that?
It's gone up a couple million since, a couple thousand since I've been sitting here.
Dude. That is
it was
so
14
wild.
Something. We're almost 18 now. I'm just watching it go up.
So let's see, 4 into 14. So that's 4 into 14. That's a little less than 25%. So basically, the amount in the lottery that is going to go to drawing 3 winners has already gone up by a little less than 25%. That's in less than an hour.
In minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, in minutes. That is crazy. Again, if you can get a 15x, if you could stake your hex and you still get your yield, whatever you get at the end of it, but you have a chance at you have a 1 in 20 chance of hitting a 15x. That's
oh yeah,
disgusting. Just on the cherry on top game, like, you know what I mean? Oh yeah. You might get 15x of your hex just because you staked, and then your stake still works as designed.
All right, so here's the recommended actions: review transaction details, check contract status, update token contracts, adjust gas limit, seek support. It's got the Rabbi link right there. So if I go back here, you'll see that there's 2 actions that need to be signed.
Yep.
But if I go back, I'm going to cancel these so that I can go back and check out the actual transactions.
Yeah, you're getting too excited. It's not as fast as Solana yet, dude. I mean,
it says it might just have something to do with gas, like estimating the gas.
Could be that, or you could be clicking that fucker too fast.
Well, this one right here doesn't say it's succeeded or failed right here.
That's what I'm saying. So you might need to throw a nonce in there.
So stomp on the mouse harder and slower is what I'm hearing.
Yes. But I don't know about slower. I think it might need to be like, when you're at the fair and you're hitting that thing to see if you can get the bell to ring at the top.
Yeah.
You need to get sledgehammer, dude. You need to slam that fucking mouse, dude. Click harder when that shit doesn't work. People don't realize it works. Like, you just got to get the right click. It's about the rhythm.
Know what it is? I blew through my money already. That's what it is.
You what?
I blew through my. I just sent myself a little bit of gas. Some pulse for gas, and it's saying, "Bro, you don't have that. Cancel current transaction."
Yeah, you're too excited.
There's not going to be any scraping left when I get more pulse in this wallet.
Max, you're gonna.
I got $21 of pulse in this wallet.
Yeah, I was going to say you had plenty.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this again.
So wait, what's the math? If there's 50 at a time and there's 14,000, what is that? That would be would that be 280 clicks? Is that what it would be?
Divided by 50?
Well, I'm doing 14,000 divided by 50. Is that 250? Let's see. My math. Usually, I'm good at math on stream, but I got
one right here. Hey, you know what? I would say 12,000 just to be safe, because like I said, there are a lot of people that didn't scrape on the first one that didn't know they won.
So 280 clicks will basically get the will roll every single one of the evil addresses winnings that he's won thus far in Journey 1 all 3 drawings, and Journey 2, all 2 drawings thus far. It'll roll everything over.
Yeah, that's successful. Or 140 clicks if it's 1,200.
If it's 1,200,
Oh,
no,
sorry,
it would be. Then in that case, it would be 240 clicks.
Dude, it's up to 16.5.
Yeah, it'd be 240 clicks.
Dude, this was like a little bit over. Oh, wait, you know what's crazy? It's changing these payments right here. The first lottery and the second lottery.
I see. But yeah, that's not accurate. That's
But
just front end.
I don't think it's accurate. I think
No.
it's just because this table is reading a formula.
Correct. Yep, that's what it is.
So it's telling you what it would be. So this is actually higher.
The number's a lot higher than you think. If you're watching,
It's actually, because this was 6K, so 2 of these K are already down here.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah, flipped over 18,000. Yeah, so exactly. Anyone that knows Excel, the way that this front end is reading, it's basically reading at the percentages of the payout that each one of those is. I think it's what Max is it 10%, then 20%, then 70%, or anyway, they all add up to 100%. But
10, 30, 60.
10, 30, 60.
So
yeah, 10,
1x, 3x, 6x is the
correct.
easiest way to explain it.
Yeah, exactly. 1x. Yeah, so that's what it's doing, is it's literally reading the it's reading that, and so it's incorrectly displaying it. But if you check the scanner, know that entire amount is going to be in the third drawing. So again, anyone that got into this mint of J2, that's extremely sexy. And then keep in mind that if this stays out open in perpetuity, anyone that mints in J3 will also have that. And will the lottery balance even be bigger? We'll have to see. But all we know is that would increase drawings for drawing. That would increase the amount for drawing 1, drawing 2, and drawing 3 on J3 as well. If it was open, if that hack stayed open the entire time, which is crazy, dude.
Well, and so if we just figured there's 18,000 in there right now, because that table's a little off, at $16, let's round up $16. That's $288,000 worth of dark that could hit the market, and on the 24th.
Yeah,
that's a lot of sell pressure.
And it's a lot of that, and it's all stuff that was taken away from the evil address.
Yeah,
that's crazy, dude. So the collective is looking out for the collective. They're basically saying, no, we want those lottery winnings, not you.
I like it.
You don't respect them. You're not scraping them, so we want them.
Oh my gosh! Now let me let me talk a little shit first.
Talk some shit.
I'm going to talk some shit. I've already talked this shit about Richard before. I'll turn off my cam. Well, I'll leave it right here because I'm going to show you some stuff. My biggest problem with Pump.Tires was that, like, back in the day when Richard was streaming every day, he would give us little hints, little winks, little Easter eggs in his 8-hour stream. You'd hear 2 or 3 things that would literally change your life, not just like on a personal level, but also on a financial level.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, without him streaming, like, had he been streaming,
we were just talking about this. A
lot of people in the inner circle would have gotten a hint and been ready for Pump.Tires.
Oh, I see.
Not necessarily front runners and dumpers, although I'm sure you would have some of those. But mostly it's just kind of like, yo, you are my day ones. You're my inner circle. You guys are the ones that are following me and really paying attention. And something like a casino may pop up on, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't even be that direct, but he would drop a hint like that. And we'd be watching, you know, we wouldn't be flying home from Panama and then thinking that Richard Hart was hacked when we landed, which is exactly what happened to me. Right. So I just wanted to say, like, that was my biggest, gripe with Richard, besides the fact it was confusing. The last thing we heard from him was don't gamble. And then he opens a casino. We're like, wait a minute. Like, are you gaslighting us, Richard? What the fuck is going on? So anyways, that being said, I'm just going to throw a scenario out there to my day ones in the inner circle and the people listening.
Hell yeah.
On Telegram.
Are you going with it? Yeah, I see where you're going.
We got this big dump coming up, bigger dump than we've ever had before, right here around February.
Because all the evil addresses lottery winnings are going to be in this.
What would happen if Pink Mist Well didn't want to be exit liquidity to all those people? And what if when people started front running this dump, what if liquidity was pulled?
Well, sell pressure
would
would go
happen?
down.
What would
People don't want
happen?
slippage. People don't want big slip. You'd have big slippage. You'd have, sells would take it down substantially, but sells would also lose their ass.
Yeah.
But buys would launch that shit up.
Yeah.
Like,
What would
incentivized to
happen?
sell, they'd be incentivized to buy.
What would happen if some of the big wells didn't care about getting burned on the way down and they wanted to scare the shit out of everybody?
Well, they
Well,
correct me if I'm wrong. They'd blow through
drop
their
the
stack
price.
quite quickly without burning up much of the liquidity.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to sell much dark to scare the shit out of everybody.
Right.
And these aren't some of these aren't shakeouts. Some of these are just straight up like
things that happen in the
black swan shitty events that have happened, right?
There's
Now,
a
this
pump
last
tire
right
one.
here is where Richard pulled the liquidity and he also staked everything to soak up the interest.
Yep.
Right there, the APY. So that's just what happened. That's a reaction to Heartclaw and us being connected to Hex so closely. So like I said, let's say that some whale wants to scare the shit out of everyone and trick them into selling all their dark tokens way down here, like lower than this support that we see.
You're saying what would happen if they pulled the liquidity, or you're saying what happened if they start selling?
Well, yeah, what
So
happens?
A bit of a shakeout.
What happens if February 22nd, 23rd, 24th, people start front running this shit, and then they get their lottery and they dump for air fryers?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What happens on the chart? How many people do you think would get psyched out by that?
I don't know, man. The community's pretty strong, and the community likes buying cheap dark.
Oh yeah, no. The day ones are praying to God for a $2 dark.
Yes,
like they are literally every night they kneel down by their bed and they're like, "I will do anything you ask of me, if you just give me some cheap ass dark." At least that's the way my prayers go. My prayers are, "Sweet baby Jesus, give us the cheapest dark we've ever seen," because some of us have powder, some of us don't. I mean, some of us have been DCA'd to like work eating crackers for dinner, right? But I'm just saying, if those people that are in here to trade, we still have a ton of people that are sitting on their dark from the airdrop right here when we skyrocketed up to $134.
Yep.
Okay. So there's a lot of people just waiting for the price to either skyrocket or tank, and they're out.
Yes.
Correct.
And they're never going to mint a fuel cell. They have 2 Michael Jordan rookie cards. They don't even know that they've already won the lottery. And they've just they probably don't even watch those wallets, right?
Right.
So when someone sees a price of dark either skyrocket or drop, they're just going to sell either way.
Correct.
This sideways action, they're just waiting to see what happens.
Yeah.
So if Pink Miss Well were to pull some of that sweet ass liquidity of 300K right now, that would only leave us with 4 or 5 pairs of significance that have like $6,000 to $10,000 to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, that would probably cause a lot of people who don't believe in the project and don't understand the fuel cells to completely exit.
Yeah, so yes, although here's my question, Max, is although at the same time with this news that's just now coming out about the collective being able to scrape and roll the evil addresses lotteries, which is ridiculous. I mean, yes, you'd want dark as cheap as possible, but you also know that those winnings are going to be so much more substantial that I'd have to do the expected value, just the stat equation to basically see what the expected value is of one dark if it goes up to, let's say, like 20 dark per drawing, right? Or 20 dark. If the biggest is as much as 20, just
if you're basically getting paid back what you're putting in when you win, and no guarantees of winning, it's random. It's just like the real lottery, Right. There's people that have bought tickets their entire life and never won the lottery.
Right.
The key differences in dark is whether you win the lottery or not.
Correct.
Your NFT, I apologize for Rabbi catching up to this shit. Your NFT turns into a piggy bank that fills up with coins, or a piñata that fills up with candy, whether you win or not.
Correct.
Every 45 days, dark gets dripped into that fuel cell and it's locked. You have to vaporize that fuel cell to get it out.
Or break that pinata, whatever analogy, or break the pig bank, whatever one you like. And those lottery is just cash or candy taped to the outside of the bank or the pinata. And we just people are taking that candy on the outside of Evil Address's pinata right now and putting it back into the lottery. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying, if I was someone that was speculating on dark and I understood how the ecosystem worked, which I understand that people are slowly starting to understand it more and more and more that are outside of the daily streams and the daily X activity. But I would that changes the buy equation substantially. If I have a lottery if I have 20 of them, that there's a chance that just if one of those win in the biggest, in a third of those drawings, if one of those wins in the biggest, I get my whole principal back of all, not just of that one fuel. I get a 20x on that fuel cell, but basically my 20 dark back or my 20 or 21 dark back. That's not even counting.
You end up with more dark than you put in.
Right. And seeing if that starts being something that like if the expected value is a positive number instead of a negative number, which it currently is not on the whole thing. It's always positive when you look at the yield. It's always positive expected value on every single mint. And I always like looking at expected value, but it's negative if there was no yield because it's like, it's a 1 in 20 chance of winning. So, but if that changes to positive expected value on lottery alone, then you're looking at speculators that come in, they don't even care about the yield. They're just looking at basically the almost guaranteed whatever that X is. They statistically the likelihood of if they minted a certain amount being able to get that dark back in just that 45-day period of the 3 drawings. That starts changing things, and there could be some serious it's a different kind of ARB opportunity at that point. Or at that point it's a game of basically looking at getting your whole investment back and being able to get that liquid while still keeping your hex stakes. So that's just bananas, dude. That's crazy.
It is, and just as a disclaimer, we know people that have minted 60, 70 fuel cells didn't win jack.
I haven't heard that of those people, but I've
heard from a couple of people like, dude, I minted like 20, 30, 40 no winners.
Okay, I can see 20 or 30,
but you've heard
60.
You've heard from people that got airdrop 2 and won on both.
Yeah, they won the bigger on one of them and the biggest on this. They literally only had 2 fuel cells, and they got the bigger on one of them. So they got 3.5 dark in one of them scraped on the outside, and and these were airdrops. These weren't even ones they minted. And then they had a total of what? It was 12. It was like 12 point. Was it just 12 dark? I'm trying to think of what it was, but it was some amount of dark on just that one fuel cell from J1.
And these were free fuel cells.
Yeah, free fuel cells.
They didn't go buy dark and mint it. They got free fuel cells and then hit the lottery, and they're sitting on a pile of fuel cells totally for free.
And that person since bought dark. Like that person since bought more dark. They had put some money in, but they were still learning the project. And after that, and they were able to scrape and get those winnings. They got it. Then they started. Then they were excited to learn more about the yield because I'm like, oh, that's not all. That's not all. That's cool that you got those, but that's not all. Like your one dark is just in the next couple of years is going to double, and it's a 4-year. It's basically a 4-year project of 33 journeys at 45 days, and so it's bananas, dude. Okay,
so like we said, let's say we have 18,000 dark or something like that in the lottery. And of course, the evil address is going to win half of those. So like $9,000.
Right.
Let's say that the collective keeps that button live, and that's rolled into the first lottery.
Right.
The journey 3.
Exactly.
Totally. Well, actually, no, I don't know if it'd be rolled just into the first lottery or if it'd be split up like the like when you're minting. I think it rolls into the next.
I think it rolls into just the next lottery. That means the first drawing will be fat. The second drawing, then you scrape the winnings that the evil address got then into the second drawing. Then you scrape the winnings from that into the third drawing. So, dude, the numbers are going to be ridiculous. Actually, if I start forecasting what that would be, which I will be able to. Right. We still want to see how many mint in J3 because that does play a role. But we know how many the evil address is minting in J3, so we can run. We have enough. We have enough predictors that we could enough factors that we could use to
we've only got 89 people watching this, and some of those people popped in and left, and StreamYard still counts them on X. StreamYard's the R word. Anyways, We have 400 people in Telegram. And I
Right.
would say close to 30 of those guys are actually really active. Like they're
Right.
there every day. They watch it every day. They read all the posts and pins. That's a very small group of people right there.
Yes.
What if that small group of people made so much damn money just playing around with this crazy thing we call dark that the word got out
Yeah.
and people were
Our
all
word
trying
get
to
out
buy
quick.
dark and mint for Journey 3. And the Pink Mist Well said, let them eat cake and didn't put the liquidity back in.
I mean,
I don't know. It sounds like a
that'd
perfect
be I mean,
storm.
it's
It sounds like
hypothetical.
it'd be crazy if it happened, is
It's
all I'm saying.
hypothetical. I mean, obviously the Pink Mist Whale. I don't know what it's gonna do, but that would be especially for people with at least a 90-day time horizon.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous.
I'm just a dude in a bathrobe on the internet right now, okay? Like that's all I am.
I like the bathrobe, by the way.
Yeah.
And she'll is a crazy profile picture. So if you're coming to us for financial advice, you got bigger problems in your life than
I know. I love when people get mad at me. I'm like, I'm a dude with a bandana and a grill.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
So like I said, don't take financial advice from us. This is just a fun game. It's an experiment to see how scarce you can make a token. And I really want to know, does buy and burn increase the price of a token faster, or does scarcity?
Right.
Like, in my opinion, it was the scarcity that always made number go up. I've seen a lot of tokens come with a lot of burn stuff, and it seems like traders and bots are smart enough to price that in ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen, I mean, some buy and burns can be, eventually it depends on how ratcheted up that buy and burn is, right? I mean, gosh, could you imagine if if that tool gets rolled out and it's burning $1,000 worth of dark every time, or locking it up in the mint process and of course winning lotteries and things like that. But just the point is of that's all buy pressure, especially if there's buy pressure during we'd have to actually consider that with the tool, because
and I'm not
I guess it would always
taking
be $1,000 of dark or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not taking buy and burn off the table. Right. I mean, we saw the mystery box already burnt 502 tokens.
This is true.
No, I'm sorry. One person fucked up and sent just under two dark, and the mystery box may or may not have fucked up. It might have been a gift. 500 might have been a fat finger, but 500 dark are gone forever. You can't get them out of this market.
And those two that someone sent.
Yep. So there could be a time when that 3% tax that's going on with the roll and with the mint, there's a 3% tax that goes to the team, to the mystery box. And the mystery box could do anything with that. It could provide liquidity. It could burn them. It could burn them. It could do whatever it does. I don't see. There's one thing that the mystery box and the evil address have in common. They don't seem to want to let go of any dark, except for the mystery box has been sending it, for the contests and things like that. But then again, those are going to very loyal people in the collective. That's the very loyal dark holders that it's sending them to. People that are, thirsty to mint, right?
People reading the book, people doing whatever to get some free. I mean, dude, I've never seen a project basically offer so much value in a token just for doing something like reading a chapter of a book or submitting art for an art contest. Or
we've got swag. We have I don't know if we mentioned this to Shill or Matt War, but if you get to the top level of our game, there's a car.
Yeah,
like I don't know. Yeah, like a $120,000 high-end car.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you become Grand General, see, I don't even know the name of it.
Grand Admiral.
Grand Admiral. And it comes with a kick-ass hat.
Yeah.
So a car and a hat to wear.
An Admiral hat.
A very fancy Admiral hat.
And that's the point.
It's like 332 million collective points.
Yeah.
Now we have a guy that just barely showed up, brand new. He made that trailer. He won the art contest. He's got 10 dark. He's got 11 dark because he made it into the top 10.
Right.
And he's got 1,010,000 points. He's in the top 10. He just showed up. He won the art contest. He's got a little bag of dark. and he's in the top 10 of the collective in ranks.
And see, and that has nothing to do with minting. Well, of course, the way you earn points is things like minting, things like participating in the wish well. There's obviously a lot of things that are pro ecosystem things that end up generating said points in for your profile, for your wallet, for your collective status. But that's all just that's all just extra giveaway. Like there's already many people that have already gotten stickers and shirts and posters mailed to them based off the tier that they've reached. But yeah, there's some crazy things that are being given away, and that's just on top of. I mean, again, we don't always bring it up just because we try to simplify as much as possible, because this market thus far has shown, especially with the pump fund, the pump tires coming up, that people aren't necessarily interested in DeFi. Which although this is like a game, a story, and all. It really is a DeFi protocol.
I'm terrified of what you're talking about. I am terrified of every word that comes out of your mouth. It's scaring the shit out of me.
I'm not going to say too much. What I'm saying is this: is that what you like, again, one of the things you said is it's experiment in scarcity. What it also is, though, is one of the main missions of the project that's another experiment, is can you trick gamblers into being savers? Right, and that's
can you save a degen?
Yeah, the lottery.
Can you save a degen? That should be our slogan: is save a degen, mint dark.
Because they're playing the lottery, and the lottery's fun. And like you win the lottery, and it's got even better odds than the real lottery, like than a lot of lotteries that are out in the real world. But that's not even the play. The play is the locking up of the token and getting that yield, and basically getting a 2x on your dark in a couple of years. This is assuming you mint within the first 3 journeys. But that's and assuming dark goes to a ridiculous number, then the degens that played the lottery, they'll be like, oh, that was cool that I played the lottery, but oh my gosh, I lost all my money on Sol. But I've got these fuel cells, and then they're able to vaporize them for a substantial amount of dark at a really nice, sexy price. And maybe they just learned the time value of money, and maybe they just learned that it's good to have things that are locked up.
Maybe. I mean, and like, here's another hypothetical I'm just going to throw out there. We're just bullshitting people. Just this stuff, we're just talking. What if the fuel cells were tokenized in the future? Like, what if
it became more easily transferable?
Yeah, something like a 404 but better came along, and you could put your fuel cell into a vault and mint a token and have a completely liquid token to trade with and sell and buy. What would that happen? Like, people wouldn't have to ever vaporize a fuel cell.
Yeah, it's because current. So what you're saying, Max,
I mean, they can already go onto a marketplace right now and sell it. And I think the street value of one, the market value of one fuel cell from J1 is like $1.60 right now, or it's very little.
Going off the dark value from the inside,
just the cash value of dark. If you were to take one of those little brand new ones with the dust in it, you broke it, you sold the dust, you might make, a couple bucks depending on price now.
You're talking about it like you're talking about a J1, because the thing is a J2, arguably, and this should be priced in if they were tokenized and there were liquidity pools basically for a J1 token, a J2 token, a J3 token, which are the fuel cells. If that were to happen and the drawing, let's say that there was a tokenized J2 fuel cell right now, right? And it had, I don't want to complicate things because again, they would have to be scraped, etc. But basically, if there was a way to, if it hasn't yet won the lottery, I mean, that would be, if I for example, if I saw a J2 fuel cell on the market for that same price, well, it would actually be cheaper because it has 0 dark in it yet from the treasury. That doesn't come until after this 45-day period. But if I knew that there was a lottery this heavy hanging over the drawing, and I could buy a fuel cell that I knew hadn't yet won any of the first 2 drawings, I would absolutely go into Mintra or Pulse Market or whatever, and I would certainly want to buy those if the price was right. If I could do this a positive expected value based off what the lottery is likely to do, I might buy 20 of them just to likely get that amount back.
So you're saying sell active lottery tickets is what you're talking about, like
I'm
without
saying,
tokenizing them.
well, I'm saying that already can happen. That part already can happen. And what's interesting, since the NFT marketplaces aren't necessarily like, they don't display a lot of the things that we would like to display. And anyway, and a lot of people don't know about the way that that are outside of the ecosystem don't know about the way that things work. But I'm just saying, if anyone, for example, needed some cash and they put their J2 fuel cells up, and I could see that these fuel cells hadn't yet won lotteries, dude, I would definitely pay more than whatever the $0 cash value is on the inside of them, if that makes sense. Those might have actually a very sexy. Those could actually go for a pretty penny. Theoretically, someone could sell their.
It's kind of like buying those unopened packages of Pokemon cards, right?
Yes,
because you're like, I don't know if I got a Charizard or not, but I could get this package. And let me welcome Believe in Yourself to stream for the first time. So
believe in yourself.
You're killing it in the chat.
Hey.
Let
my
people
man.
know.
Thank you. Yeah, I joined a stream from related to a friend I know in Istanbul, one of his members that I joined her chat this morning, and that was kind of fun. So I thought I'd just sign in, and camera's over here.
Yeah.
This is how my work camera is set up, though, so that's why it looks like that.
Gotcha.
I thought I'd add a Mars background. I
like
generated.
it.
Thank you. I generated this with Grok. I'm going to pull the screen over so at least I'm sort of looking at you.
No, it looks great, man. It's good to have you on. It's
nice to be here.
You were always saying that you tune in to hear my soothing voice, but you got a much more soothing voice than I do.
Well, I told them this. Yeah, they said that this morning too. There's a reason for that, and I had forgotten about it. But in 1999, I did a full day of vocal training with one of the worst hangovers I've ever had, from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Like I'd been at the bar partying till 4 a.m. and I had to be back downtown at 7 a.m. and on stage with all these people. And so I did the full day course. I bought the books, the tapes, and I practiced for years because I had to announce stops on the bus and on the subway because that's what I did.
Right.
For a living. So I practiced for years until they automated the stops and then totally forgot about it. Years later, I was volunteering at business motivational events, a local promoter,
right,
who became a friend of mine. And it was I had joined a paid to speak contest, and it was supposed to be in London, England. And because I was the first one to pay to be one of Bradley's 25 speakers, I got to be on stream with every single headline speaker that was due to speak at the event. And these were like some really successful people.
Wow.
And one of them, Greg Walker, he had recently won the Toastmasters World Championship speaking. First question out of his mouth is, what mic are you using? Like everyone was asking me that. Yeah. And it was just a Blue Yeti, right? Now, this is a Rode NT1A, which is not ideal. It's a little bright, but I didn't know any better when I bought it. It's a Rode, yeah.
Yeah, Rode makes.
I would rather have it a little flatter, but I'm not making music with it, so it's okay. So yeah, I inadvertently sold quite a few Blue Yetis, and people would buy it, and they would be disappointed. I'd see it in their face, and I'm thinking, I remember. Oh yeah,
it's not
all that years because I used to hate the sound of my own voice because it betrayed whatever was going on in my head, and that's what inspired me to take the training in the first place. Even though I didn't work inside the call center anymore, those quarterly reviews of my calls were brutal, a cringe fest for me.
Right.
So I basically learned with the training. I learned to love the sound of my own voice. And I can't sing for crap, but
you don't have to.
Yeah, I was always getting reviewed. Like even the security would come and stand beside me because customers would say, "I love the way you use a different accent for each station," and I couldn't hear it. I'm trying to be consistent, but York Mills. I'd be thinking of the Queen for some reason. York Mills Station, York Mills. But to me, it doesn't sound that different. But I started really exaggerating it. I had a lot of fun with that. That's how my first divorce dress came out. Spontaneous humor.
Yeah.
That being said,
What
that being said,
what
I
do you
can see
think
you
about
voicing
this
some
hack today?
characters in the book.
Okay.
yeah, I have to
Voicing some
read that.
characters, Max. Couldn't you? I could see him voicing some characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that. I'm open to that.
That'd be awesome.
That would be fun.
You could earn
Yeah,
some
they were
dark
saying
for
that
it.
too.
You could earn some
Yeah,
dark. For it.
The reason I came on here is because I'm just curious, where would I buy dark from? I know it's maybe a silly question.
No, it's
but
very good.
Yeah,
question.
I'm not sure where to buy dark because usually I've only been buying off of 9-inch, whatever I buy.
Yep.
The best deal that everyone I've seen so far get is on Pateas. Pateas, their fees might even be higher, but you'll get more dark for your buck.
But so wait, can't you go to our site, Max, and when you click buy more dark, doesn't it take you to Pateas, or is it?
Yeah, it does, but it doesn't load dark in there. So I think you might have to still put in the contract address.
It did load dark when you went to Go Pulse. It did load dark, but when you go to Pateas, it doesn't. So you can go to our website, or to Pateas, obviously, since our site basically just routes you over there, and then paste the contract address ending in C7 C5. Which is that on our front page?
No, we need to put that on our front page on our website,
front and center on our website for sure.
I think we asked some people to do it a little bit ago, but I got lost in all the craziness.
Yep. We'll follow.
That would be good. That'd be good.
But we can provide you the contract address right here on stream, and we can. Max, do you want to? Or I can pull it up unless you have it up, then and you can put it in the chat, just in the private chat. Or in the YouTube chat actually.
It's also pinned in our Telegram in several places. So we have the Pink Mistwell's address pinned, so people can send PMW to Pink Mistwell.
Yeah.
Then we also have ours throughout there as a pin message, but maybe I should just pin it like every.
No. We also have a bot function where you can just do exclamation point.
Oh yeah.
Flash contract.
Yeah, exclamation point CA will pull up the smart, the contract for dark matter.
Yeah. So now you're in the Telegram, right? Believe in yourself. You're in there, right?
I am. That's how I got in here.
So just do exclamation point CA, and then and tell me
You'll
if that
pull up the contract address for you,
and then you can copy that and then go to Pateas, and then you can scoop dark then. And listen, I always tell people the best time to get dark is, well, anytime that you find it cheap, whatever your target is. I always like anything that's under $20. I think it looks juicy and sexy. But that's me. Again, don't follow. I've got a picture of someone pink misting people behind me with bones shattering in the distance and body parts vaporizing. So but that being said, that's what I like.
So that's what pink misting is. Okay.
Pink misting is, as that's in crypto so eloquently said.
Yeah,
vaporizing body parts.
Yeah,
which is a term often used in the military when catching a headshot. But that's what he does. Ping Mist well. He snipes contracts. He snipes entries. He knows, this guy knows how to play crypto well, and that's why he's been able to become a Ping Mist. And this is just one wallet that's got over $1 million in it. And anyway, and he's like, we saw him put almost $500,000 in liquidity just on the Hex Dark pair. Less than a week ago.
Another vapor. Dude, I'm not going to be able to talk about anything but vape coils on this screen.
It's a mess. It was my first soldering adventure.
My man. Yeah, it was you that I was talking to the other day, right?
Yeah, DNA 250C.
That's what I thought, and I wasn't because you both start with B. I wasn't sure if it was Bright Light or you. When you first came on screen, I'm like, that's why I did this. When you first came on screen, I was showing you the rig, what I was working with. But yeah, dude, the other day,
then I just took one of these.
This turned into a See, I'm still rocking. Look, that squonks are my jam. I mean, dude, you could easily drop $1,000 on just this bad boy, an official dead rabbit with the squonk with 18650, and then I forget even what Addy this is, but dude, just in Addies, I probably spent $12,000. Like I literally have two Tupperware tubs full of just vape shit because I started buying disposables, and I was like, I'm not building my shit anymore, but recently got back into building.
This is one I like.
This is mine. I don't even know what it is.
The Lost Vape.
I like one.
Just as simple. And then you can't see the Trick Tank Pro.
Yep.
There.
That's a tasty setup you got right there.
I've had this for like since 2017. This one.
Yeah, no, that I remember that's when it came out, or roughly around there. What flavor you got in there? You make your own juices, I think I recall you saying. What
that
flavor
one is
it?
It tastes sort of like Christmas shortbread. That's how it turned out.
You like savory.
Well,
You like
this is all that's left of that one. I make a liter of a time. A quarter. This is a liter. So.
I might need to get a hold of you, and maybe we'll use the use case of Dark. Maybe I'll use Dark to buy some vape juice from you.
Well,
ATF, if you're listening, he doesn't sell. It doesn't have nicotine in it, so don't worry. You don't have to eat the tobacco and alcohol, tobacco, firearms. Don't worry, he's not going to be selling any vape juice inappropriately.
Are you not able to buy it where you're at?
No. I can. I'm just saying that they've got licenses, etc. I'm just trying to say that you're not selling any nicotine in case the ATF was.
Yeah. I'm not selling anything.
Yeah, there's no nicotine.
I bought this from British Columbia actually.
There you go.
It was it's pretty cheap.
There you go.
Like I got this with all the different flavors because I kind of did a formula where you could order different bottle sizes of flavors, and 250 milliliters of PG, and then a big bottle of VG, and then the different flavors, and it all worked out to like 1 liter. And it's not bad. I'd rather mix it with more precisely because there's a lot of formulas out there. But it was $100 Canadian. So and this lasts me a long time.
Damn straight.
And it's 2.5 milligrams. So
that's beautiful, man. And a liter. I mean, again,
big clouds.
For sure. Chuck and any vapors on here. I mean, again, then you probably are digging this. I could talk to Believe in Yourself for probably 20 hours straight about vaping, and I think this might have come from us talking about vaporizing, but so we can chat more offline on Believe in Yourself.
But yeah,
that was back to the hack that happened today. What do you think about hacking the email address and snowballing the lottery going forward? What do you think that's going to do to participation in minting?
You're asking Believe in Yourself.
I'm asking Believe in Yourself. Yeah.
Well, that I liked that when I saw that. Ooh, the evil address has been up to it again. This is going to be good because usually when the evil address is active, good things happen. This is what I've noticed.
That's interesting you say that because his name is Evil Address, yet everything he's done so far seems to have been benevolent. In fact, even now, granted, it was the collective that hacked him to be able to get all those lottery winnings that people are literally stealing from him in real time. Like if you watch the lottery balance in the contract, it just keeps climbing. People are stealing 50 at a time from the Evil Address, and they're going to the next lottery so that people in the collective can win more of his winnings. So,
what if the Evil Address is like the Grinch?
Yeah,
it's just like the Grinch, but look what it did.
It is a very interesting comment because if you watch the whole Grinch story, that's very interesting.
16.8 is what's showing down here at the next, but it doesn't include the stuff where it was accidentally sent over here.
Not sent, just displayed.
So really what we got to do is we have to take 18. This is actually the real price up here. Right. So jackpot contract balance is 18.3. So we're actually at 18.3.
Correct.
Not 16. So this math is off just because it's designed to show you guys how much it was if in a regular lottery like we had the first time. But now this one is not a regular lottery, so they're looking at 18.3.
And just to be clear with just anyone watching, just to be technically clear, they weren't sent to the wrong place. It's just that on the front end on this site, they're just the formula in that table is just displaying it correctly. The contract address balance is accurate, and that is in the biggest drawing. And so even though it's displaying incorrectly on the site, that's not how it's happening on chain.
So we're nearing 1/3 of 1 million. And you can buy dark all day right now, thanks to the pink mist well, without pushing the price against yourself. I mean, obviously, if you're a whale coming in with $1 million, you're going to blow it out. But
sure,
the truth is, this was designed to basically say "fuck you" to whales.
Yeah.
because we saw what some of the whales have done to the price of hex that
Yep.
Richard's been fighting against, right?
Yep.
They get a better rate, they get a better, bigger pays better. They don't get a longer pays better. So that's one way that people, the smaller people, have caught up to the whales. But in anti-gravity, every fuel cell has the same chance of winning the lottery and the same yield drip from the treasury.
Yep.
So if you have one fuel cell or you have a trillion, you got the same, that each of those fuel cells has the same chance and the same return. APY.
Correct.
So that's really interesting.
In that journey, different.
Yeah, in that journey, you
the yield goes
gotta
down
mint
10%.
every journey. You got to mint if you want a new fuel cell and a new shot at the lottery.
Yeah, no, for the lottery, all of your previous fuel cells earn yield in perpetuity until that treasury balance is gone, which will take Lord knows how long, right? It's almost like the Bitcoin halving where it takes a while to actually fully deplete. But you basically have a fuel cell earning yield in perpetuity. The rate from J1 fuel cell, the best yield rate you'll get. J2 was the next best. J3 will be the next best, but they go down by 10% each time. So the first one, it gets 3% of that treasury paid out every 45 days of whatever that treasury balance is. At the end of that 45 days, 3% of that. And then the second, these J2 fuel cells, anyone that has these that's participating in the lottery now, they're getting 2.7% yield because it went down by 10%. The next one's going to be, let's see, 0.27 off of 2.7. So that'd be 2.43, right? That'd be 2.43% is the next one, and then et cetera. It just keeps going down gradually by 10%. It kind of like compounds, or the opposite of, it's 10% off whatever the whatever it was before. So it's not linear, but it's kind of accelerated.
This is what at the point right now, if people stop scraping the evil address, you'd have 18,302 dark divided amongst 1,945 fuel cells. So instead of getting 7.5, now you're at 9.5.
And that's just as it stands right now.
Nice.
Yeah, if you guys have been in Hex for a while, you understand like the daily payout going up and down. This is crazy to jump up this high. And I don't even know how many times that button's been hit. It's still working.
Exactly. It's certainly not enough. Hasn't been.
Yeah, and if you guys go to the evil address and it says 4 in the box, just make sure you refresh. I mean, you might want to scrape 4 and it might let you, but I like scraping 50, and I think 4 means that you got to refresh it because it's stuck on the being used last. So
I wonder if 4 means maybe. I wonder if maybe it was calculated mathematically that you'll eventually need a 4 to scrape the remainder. Maybe that's why. Like maybe it's a perfect number. It's like it's 50 at a time up until a remainder.
Yeah,
of
like the final digit is 4.
The final one will be 4. And that's what I'm guessing. I mean, that's or speculating that it could be that.
But if that were true, it wouldn't let you scrape the last 4. Like it wouldn't keep putting 4 in there all the time. It would go to 0, right? So see, that scrape was successful. So there's still.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Once it goes to 0, if it does go to 0, like maybe until that 4 is.
Dude.
But see, if someone scrapes 4, then now the number that would be needed is a different number. You know what I mean? So yeah, it'd be interesting.
I don't know if it was just my scrape, but this just went up by 181 dark.
Yeah, it wouldn't be just your scrape. But that's an interesting number to.
Well, no, you could win 180 dark off of 50 fuel cells.
Oh, sure, but wait, what are you meaning? If the number went up, though.
Well, like the number of the lottery went up by 180 ish.
Right.
This was 18,302. Now it's 18,481.
Right.
So let's try scraping this bad boy again and see if it goes up.
What did you mean about win? Someone could, I guess, yes, if they won those, but the thing is, this is not about winning. These are the evil addresses winnings that are basically being siphoned over into the lottery contract instead of his wallets.
So I'm trying to see on average how much higher this goes with every scrape.
I see.
So there's another scrape.
It should be 50, right? It should be 50.
Right there. Well, no,
it's how many people are doing it at once.
It's 50 winners, Don. Not 50
dark.
50 winners.
50 fuel cells.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, I was thinking it was 50 dark being scraped. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying was like every time I scrape it, I want to know how much this number's popping.
I see. That
So I
makes
refresh it. It still says 481, even though I think that one was successful.
I'm following you. I'm
Let me
following.
check and see if that one was successful.
Well, it could have easily
No,
scraped.
that one
50.
failed. That last one failed.
Gotcha.
And it might fail from now on. Like we might have already exhausted it.
No, that number would be bigger. That number would definitely be bigger.
Let's see, it says 4 again. So I got to refresh.
Yeah, see, it's possible people are scraping 4 fuels. Well, in that case, then that would actually, if it's scraping the number of fuel cells, I wouldn't think that it's exhausted yet, because if there were 14,000 roughly dark in the winning in the evil addresses wallet, then that would have been added to roughly the 14,000 that were already there for the third drawing. So theoretically, we should see it go up to roughly, to over 25,000.
See, so that one was successful.
Yeah, there's still 7,000 more to go, is what I'm saying.
And so if it already updated. So it was 480, now it's 680. So I think you're getting about 180 or 200 fuel cells every time you scrape it.
Well, you're assuming you're
dark.
the only one clicking it at the moment, which might be the case, but
it's other people are like smart enough to wait for the gas price to go down.
Yeah, like Show was saying.
They're like, I'm already donating 22,000 pulse to the mystery box. I don't need to donate money to the validators as well.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But this was 12, right? I want to say this is 12 or 14.
It was 14. You're saying that
it was 14.
Yeah, it was.
Because if you take 121,533 fuel cells times 20%, that's what was in the lottery to begin with, and then it's 60% of that, so 0.6 equals it was 14.5. It
was like 14.5.
Sitting around 14.5 to start with. Now it's 18.6.
And the evil address roughly had that much in his fuel cells to scrape. He had roughly that much lottery winnings.
Yeah, so 4,000 dark have been added. That's not too shabby.
Not too shabby when you're talking about in out of 14,000.
Now what?
Substantial increase.
Oh my gosh, we have a very special guest here. One of the people in our Telegram that understood what this button did a long time ago, because they can read code.
Yes.
So they were looking at the different contracts and stuff and being like, hey, did you know you can do this if you just interact with the contract directly? And we're like, yeah, we're trying to keep it a secret though.
Hello guys,
welcome to the show. Do we call you?
I'm delighted that it's finally open to the public.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You've been knowing this whole time, man, just from being able to read code, and this is not easy code to read per se. Well, for us, you're a coder. You might be like, dude, it's like reading a fucking kid's book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do we call you Sealy?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay. As long as we're close. Oh my gosh. So do you think that this button will be exhausted in the next 8 days?
Well, it depends on if people click it enough. But to answer your question, it's about 200 dark per 50 scrapes on average.
Oh, I was so close. And you were able to actually read the unscraped. So do you know what the unscraped total amount of the evil address was up to this point?
The non-scraped. You mean the original lottery payout?
Yeah, the total amount before this button went live. So basically, this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, I put it in the Telegram.
No way.
The Jordy 2 lottery 3 is 14,584.08.
So it is 14,000.
Yes.
Oh Jesus, help us.
So that's basically means that it's almost going to double the lottery amount, the drawing amount for the third drawing, which is crazy.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah,
so
I think that
this was the original
address has about 127,000 fuel cells.
Yep, and roughly about 14,000 in.
I just had the exact value, but it's taking a bit long to load, and I didn't write it down.
So you're telling me it could be 28.5.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's okay. So oh my gosh, 28.5 times we're at 15, $16 today. Yeah, we're creeping on half a mil. Wow. And like I said, hypothetically speaking, if if the if the pink mist well decided to let the dumpers dump, and when they try to front run, let them, so to say, fall on their swords, then wow, that would be $500,000 of sell pressure with low liquidity. I should say, not low liquidity, because the mystery box is doing what it can with its partnerships, but there's just, I mean, all of its partnerships, including the 2Fux pool, are pushing around 100, 110, or 20, depending on the day, of total liquidity. So if the red mist well pulled out some liquidity and we had $500,000 of sell pressure, then people that aren't in the project and don't know what's happening and don't understand the scarcity of dark matter could be caught panic dumping instead of panic buying. Just a couple ideas for you guys to think about.
Hey guys, I
Yeah,
gotta head out.
It's
Dude,
I
very
apologize.
interesting.
Thanks for
No,
hanging
all
out
good,
with us,
brother.
Bill.
Man,
Yeah,
thank
no
you
doubt.
so much, dude. Great discussions, man. Especially
Yeah, I've been
with-
listening this whole time. I'm loving it. You guys are killing it. Like
Hell yeah,
I
man.
love the whole story and narrative and the evil address and all the interactions with the collective. Like it's really fun.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, and that means a lot coming from you, because I know you dig into a lot of
A
different
lot
projects.
of projects.
You're
Because
one of
like here's the thing, real quick before I go. Like I feel like a lot of these projects don't put as much thought into it as you guys have, and that's one thing I really like about you guys. Like you kind of mapped it all out to where it's fun and it's interactive. It's more than just a financial tool.
Thank you.
Amen, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
Get
so
it.
much.
Get it,
what
bro.
I could feel too. The community.
But yeah,
It's a-
shout out to everybody up
it's-
here.
it's a family.
I love and respect you all, and I'll catch you guys later.
All right, catch you later, Shills.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, guys.
Right.
And then there were 5.
And then there'll soon be 4, because I can't vape inside. So it's not my house. I just
And
rent a room.
you're watching us just sit here and puff away in front
Yeah,
of you.
you just sit and puff away. And I was like, oh, I'd love to do that. This is just my, I just buy these because I like them, but Smock Nord 5. I wash the coils, so they last a long time. So I don't have to buy coils maybe once every 3 or 4 months. But this has 55 milligram Nick salt in it, so it hits hard.
Ooh.
It's great for outside, not good for chugging, not good for. Yeah, because sometimes I do have to lie down before to keep from nicking out. But yeah, it was nice to talk to you, and I do like the idea of reading for some characters in that book. That would be fun.
Yeah, and there's actually more tokenomics that we're going to bake into the story. We got to make sure that they're correct, but we've started baking the tokenomics so someone can actually read the story and understand the tokenomics, which is, that's a lot of people. Tokenomics are another language.
Yeah, it's sort of. I have to digest that aspect of it slowly, because I'm not getting any younger. I like math. Don't get me wrong, but I like people more, and I mean everything's all connected, anyways, in my opinion. But what I was telling them this morning, and I used to say this when I was a co-host on a Not Safe for Work in any way, shape, or form weekly show. I used to tell people, if I can see your eyes, I can steal your soul. Not that I would, because I'm not into that, but I can look into your eyes, and it seems to be a gift. I can say something that you need to hear, but I would only say something like that if it were true. So, not to be manipulative, to leave someone feeling empowered. That's my purpose for doing that.
That's good. I like that. And you matter. You've definitely been one of the best, one of the most supportive and helpful people in the community, both on our Telegram and here. You're definitely an AGOG, as we call you, a good member of the Selective.
Yeah, I was one of those people that I won in the first lottery with I won a fuel cell, and then I did the thing that you're not supposed to do because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. So now I have only one fuel cell instead of 3 because I vaporized. What am I doing?
Yeah, Patrick's, I'm sure wherever Patrick is right now, he's saying thank you for your service. He's always trying to get people to vaporize.
Well, now I know. And thank you again for letting me pop in here. I'll pop in again. I won't be. Today was sort of a day off work, so
yeah. Well, enjoy your day off, and thank you so much for coming in and talking with us. You're welcome anytime. And
it's my pleasure.
Good luck on this last lottery, man. Like,
yeah, thank you.
It's gonna be insane.
All right, bye for now, everyone.
Bye, buddy.
Adios.
Oh my gosh. So you've seen some more of the code that we haven't talked about, and how you understand how I'm talking to Celia, of course. You understand how some of the mechanics are going to affect each other. In fact, like right now, if we were to go to pull scan and it worked, we could we would see the percentage
functioning.
We would see
worse and worse.
Yeah, we would see it climbing in the ranks because earmarked it would have 18. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't move because it has the same amount. It's just taken all the earmarked tokens for the evil address and thrown them into the next lottery pot.
Yes, that's correct. So how it works exactly is that you have like a set amount. Well, it's not really set. Well, you have the contract balance. Then you have the unclaimed lottery winnings. So that's subtracted from the contract balance, and then you have also a bonus amount. The bonus amount is only added when the evil address scrapes. So normally you have the base amount, and this is like for each lottery. Sorry, is lottery 1 is 10%, lottery 2 is 30%, and right,
and so it goes 10, 30, 60.
Right. So that's just as it says, but the bonus is when the evil address scrapes, it's added to the bonus, and the entire bonus amount is added to the next lottery.
Yeah. So instead of the first lottery, if this button stays live, instead of the first lottery being 10%, it would be 10% plus whatever bonus was rolled after this next lottery.
Exactly. So it could happen that the first lottery is bigger than the third lottery, theoretically.
Yeah. So let's say that there's 18,500 dark in the next lottery, which is absolutely insane. And let's divide that. Let's say that the evil address wins half of that because it emitted half the fuel cells, right? So that would be 9,250 for it to roll into Journey 3 Lottery 1. Over 9,000. There'd be about over 9,000 dark rolled into the first lottery plus whatever's minted.
Exactly.
This is fun.
So it's
Really fun.
it's fun, and it's also we'll have to say if this button stays open for the public. But now that people know what it does, maybe they are going to look like me, and they find a way to do it themselves through the sneaky ways.
Yeah, you can directly interact with the contract, which is something that I struggle to do with a dev holding my hand. Like I have a dev holding my hand when we interact with our smart contracts, and it is not something that normal person can just figure out. Without, I mean, they can mess it up basically. Like you're more likely to burn tokens or send them to the wrong address than you are to get the interaction or right to contract correct. In my opinion, in my experience,
Yes, there
it's not
there
something
is
normal people figure out.
absolutely no documentation whatsoever. So you have a few functions, and if you mess up things, then it can go south really fast. So
Yeah.
you have to, like, I made a mapping for myself. What does every function do? Where does it make a call to which contracts, etc. So I know what each function does.
Yeah, it takes almost like a translation skill, like translating one language into another, because it's not, like you said, it's not spelled out in any document yet. It's basically you have to look, okay, this one does this, this, and this, and it connects to that one that does this, this, and this, and that one connects to that one that does this, this, and this. And so it's a very, very rare gift and talent that you have. And I mean,
Thank
like
you.
people like you are what make this the best damn community, and hands down, in crypto. Like we're already part of the best community, being Pulse Chain, I believe. But then inside of Pulse Chain, we have some other communities like Randy Hilarski's, like Rags to Riches, Sloth. I mean, Crispy Man. There's so many people that come with the sharpest minds and contribute freely to this community, which is, I mean, like I don't see that anywhere else in my life.
You are absolutely right. Yes, I have many friends here and many developers. I haven't experienced this anywhere else in a blockchain.
Awesome. And all we got to do is X the community, right? Like everyone looks at the chart and thinks that the chart's going to save them. The chart can look whatever way it wants. Whales can manipulate charts. The market can get manipulated or something. So the charts do tell a story, but literally, like if you look at Bitcoin's chart over the years, you're seeing what is it, Metcalfe's law? Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure. I'm just more like the
or
technical guy.
The network effect is what people will say. Because like back in the day, if you had what were they called? The fax machine. If you had a fax machine at your house and you were the only one, it's completely useless. There's no one to fax. But
Yes.
everybody that joins that network gives value to that fax machine. And it's the network effect.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
So if there's only one person here playing the anti-gravity game and minting fuel cells and winning everything, there's no value there, right? The value comes from people, from community, from people bringing their mental, their physical, their financial energy here and leaving it here and building on everyone else's energy. And you have that synergistic effect of Xing. So like if people say, well, I want a 10x or 100x on my token. No, I want 100x on our high quality, awesome community. I want to pull in other amazing people like yourself, like Matt, and like Don, and just pull them in. That's the X's that I focus on. And right now, the best measurement of that is probably our Telegram. How many people are there and how many people are posting and participating. But I think soon it might spread to Twitter, where it's like how many people are following this particular project on Twitter, and we can go from there and see how much engagement we get. But I'm so excited. When I think about where I see the community heading, that's when I get really, really excited. Price, yeah, we all want price to go up of our stuff, but this community is special, and the community that I got in Hex was worth way more than the money I got from Hex. Way more. Like
Yeah,
you can't put a
absolutely.
price on it.
Yeah, so if you do it not only for the money, then yeah, then it become valuable. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. Yes, so I never cared only about the money. It was a fun aspect, but I also have my beliefs, my inner values, and I I have technical knowledge as well. So when I joined Hex, I was very lucky to be buying Hex 5 days after the all-time low.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw an absolute great product with great code, and I thought this is amazing. This hasn't been done
No,
before. So
actually, dark matter does fold in 3 or 4 tokenomics that I've never seen combined before. Like, not
yes,
to toot my own horn or the devs' horns. No, I'll toot the devs' horns. The devs have created smart contracts that did not exist, like
yes,
the Rapture function. I've never seen that in any project before, where you got a white list of good addresses that are benefiting the system, and everyone else sitting on their tokens to trade, they get nuked, just gone forever, right?
yeah.
Sorry to
There
cut you
are
off.
some
I got excited when you
interesting
said that.
there are some interesting aspects about dark, and that's why I also dug into it a bit deeper, because I think it's really a unique thing, and it also plays like with the um, supply and demand in an interesting way, and
Yeah. How?
not in a way that it's exploiting things or something like that. I mean, there have been projects who have also said, "Well, we are amazing, and we are only here to pump," and then they launch and they dump.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been a part of a lot of those in the last 5 years, 8 years.
but this is just tech. This is just really pure code, and the market can go down, but if the underlying technical aspect is great, it will eventually go up. Like the same with hacks. I mean, we have been in a bear market with hacks for a long time, but I still believe it's one of the greatest products on the blockchain.
Yeah.
I think it's greater than Pulse Chain. It's greater than Pulse X. It's greater than Ink. Uh, Pulse Chain was merely created to supplement hacks, and Pulse X also in a way because it's with liquidity bonding and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And many people think Hex had have his run, so it can't go up anymore.
Right.
And that's just a really interesting take to look at it. And
I did
it
want to point. Oh, go ahead. Go
might
ahead.
be the one that goes up the most, Not
I,
sure.
I I think so, because then the other thing I found really interesting was that the OA could have burnt its tokens. Like, that's one move that it could have made, but it didn't. It staked them so that it would hold all that economic energy in the system. And
Yes,
I
I'm
think that says a
still
lot
not sure
about people.
why the
Mhm,
OA did it. Well,
mhm,
many people say it's the OA, but it wasn't really the OA.
mhm,
So there are various explanations for what the OA is. Some people say the OA
mhm,
are all the wallets that are connected to Richard Hart,
mhm.
right?
That's what I mean when I say OA.
Yeah,
How would you
I don't.
describe
In the hex contract, there is one address hard programmed. It's
that? Mhm,
called the origin address,
mhm.
right?
Right.
This address
Go ahead.
received um, received all the ETH from the adoption amplifier in the beginning. Now, these stakes that are happening, they are first from all kinds of different wallets, but if you trace them back, they come from the Pulse X sacrifice wallet. And I personally don't associate that with the Hex OA.
Okay, when you say OA, you're talking about the specific contract address that received the ETH from the
Yeah, and
from the amplifier.
maybe wallets that are connected to that directly, but it's
Hmm.
coming from the Pulse X sacrifice wallet.
Okay. So
So
the
the
other wallet,
OA might have the OA sacrificed Hex into the Pulse X sacrifice, but it's just a sacrifice wherein he participated. Now, do you want to claim that the OA owns the sacrifice address?
I don't know.
No, that's the situation that I'm in as well.
Mm,
So then I cannot say for sure it's the OA in that regards.
hmm
We can say it's an OA. It's we can say it's an OA for Pulse X or something like that.
hmm
But many people think it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, when I say Richard Hart or OA, I'm just referring to all of those wallets together. But you're saying that there's a nuance there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I think it's also important for legal aspects. If we say, well, it's the same wallet, although technically it isn't.
hmm
I think yeah, it's from the sacrifice wallet, and we don't know who is behind that.
hmm
We might have a suspicion, but we don't know for sure.
Right. Right. That makes a lot of sense. Um, and I try to be mindful of some of the things I say here on stream, but I'm sure I'm sure I say too much about some of the stuff with the mystery box and the evil address and some of the things that they're doing. I'm trying to just point them out, but you're right. There's some reasons to make those distinctions. Diehard Hexagon says thanks to all the devs for anti-gravity. Oh, I definitely, and I would include Sealy on that, because not only do we have our devs that wrote the code, but we have the devs that audited the code, and then we have devs like Sealy here who look into the code and come up with really valuable information. So yeah, shout out to all the devs. I could see more people minting next journey. I'm saying, like, when that lottery keeps rolling, it gets a lot of there's a group of people that you can get their attention with the lottery, but you're not going to get their attention with a long-term delayed gratification play, right? I mean, you've made the T-shares are great. You've made one of the best delayed gratification ideas ever, which is you came up with a pension on the blockchain, and
Yes,
yeah, and it's called Carpe Diem. If you guys are not part of that, that's the one that I'm always voting for on Coin Market League. So when I go to Coin Market League, I always add you guys to my votes every day, because what he did, I don't remember, was it 2 years ago that you were on my stream and we went over Carpe Diem?
I I'm not sure if we already launched or not,
Yeah, I
but
just remember the
yeah,
idea of supply and demand that I learned that I saw in Carpe Diem matched with some of the other things I saw, like paying yield without inflation, or the what's a NFT, that game of chicken, watching your fuel cell fill up with dark, and then are you going to break it and get the dark out, or are you going to let it keep filling up? Because it keeps filling up, I mean, in perpetuity, but I mean, eventually it's dust, but for quite a while there's this curve, right, of the payout, because of the way that the treasury is set up.
exactly. Yes,
So
it's
you're gonna
it's
oh go ahead.
yeah. I mean it's quite a difference between dark and CDP. The CDP is the coin I created, by the way. Um, in the way you earn interest on your fuel cells, and you cannot claim that interest unless you vaporize your fuel cells. But if you vaporize it, your fuel cells will also be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a difficult decision you have to make. And when do you make that decision? That's the interesting thing.
And let me clarify here. You're saying that when you vaporize a fuel cell and you take that dark out, it doesn't destroy the dark inside the fuel cell. That the dark is transferred to your wallet, just like when you scrape the lottery. Correct?
Yeah, so you basically claim the dark that has accumulated in the fuel cell, but your fuel cell will be destroyed along with that action.
And what's the website for Carpe Diem? It's having a hard time here with
It's
POS.
carpediempension.com, or in short, you can also do cdp.money.
CDP what money?
.money. Yeah, it's kind of a short link, which is easier to type.
Like a wallet in a hardware wallet?
Yeah, I just have to have several domain names.
I just pulled the easiest thing for me was to pull you up on X. And then if I go down on X, I can see it right there. So there's at CDP. There it is. Yeah. So I'm going to copy this right here. Yeah. If you guys want to see a really interesting retirement model, pension model, because we always talk about retiring and passive income in this community. Because I mean, we're used to just these crazy spikes in price. You better take your profits, and then you got to live on that for the winter. You know what I mean? So let me put this in our chat right here. If you guys want to check that out, and I'd love to have you on and just go over it again for new people that weren't here a year or two ago. So
yeah, I just quickly just a quick pitch, you know.
Yeah, no, I like
So
it's about harnessing economic energy, and it's
yeah,
about people's attention, right? Because that's like the most scarce thing in our world right now is people's attention. Companies pay big money to manipulate your dopamine system in your brain to keep your attention. Because where you're paying attention is where you're going to spend your money and your energy, right? And so, yeah, we live in a world where attention is hard to get and hard to keep. So that, along with this really awesome economic model that you have at Carpe Diem, when you combine those things, we've never seen people. I mean, Hex is the closest thing we've seen to someone building a huge community and then releasing awesome tech to that community, right?
yeah, and to be fair, I get some critics sometimes from Hexcats that they don't understand because they think Hex is a retirement plan or a pension fund already. And they say, well, I don't need CDP because I already have Hex.
Mm-hmm.
But Hex is like Hex is a certificate of deposit. It's also a very useful financial model, but it's not a pension or retirement fund.
True.
There is some difference to that,
Sure.
and I'm not going into details now. I will just explain what CDP and that's short for Carpe Diem pension is. A retirement fund in Europe. I think it's a bit different in America.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard because everywhere it's a little different. So I have to learn, like for every country, how it's different. But in Europe, it's that there's a basic principle. You put in, you have a pension fund, and you put in like a percentage of your income every month. then what you have put in, you can never retrieve that. I think this is different from the USA, but you can never retrieve that. It's it's gone forever, basically. And when you reach the retirement age, by the way, this retirement age is increasing like crazy. So you don't know what the retirement age will be when you retire.
Yeah, because it's a moving
But
target.
yes, exactly. But then you get a small payout every month, uh, basically paid out from this pension capital.
Yeah, and here's the difference between a lot of those
And
things. Like over here in America, we call it the 401k, right?
yes,
And if you try to live off your 401k, like the idea is to take less money out and let it continue to grow, even when it comes time for you to start taking profits, right? They call that the burn
yeah,
rate. And so you have this burn rate where you're trying to like make sure it outlives you. But here in America, you got if you build up your pension or your 401k, unless you got a really good lawyer, tax accountant, when you die, that money is like the government comes in and takes a big chunk of it as a tax.
yes,
So unless you've made other arrangements and but only the more usually it's just the very wealthy here in America that have the right accountants and the right lawyers setting things up so that they don't get their children don't get taxed to death when they die, right? Carpe
exactly.
diem
But
lives
it's
on the blockchain.
yes. So the basic principle of a Europe pension system is what inspired us. So it's a bit different as a 401k. I think a 401k can be seen as a bit riskier as European pensions.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
basic principle is you put your money in and it stays there forever. You
Hmm.
can never retrieve it, but in return, you get a passive income, a small, very small amount. But as you deposit more and more, this income also grows. So, what happens when you put in CDP into your pension? As we said, you can never retrieve it.
Hmm.
The interesting thing is we don't want it either, because when we get it, we can only dump it, you know? So,
Hmm.
what do we do with it? And this is illegal with the dollars, but we burn it. It's
Wait a
it's
second.
gone forever. Once you deposit into your pension, it only remembers you had this CDP,
Yeah.
but it's burned forever. In return, you earn forever.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I forgot that part of your tokenomics, even till you just said it right now. So the more people you get credit for the amount of economic energy you're putting in, but you don't have to worry about that economic energy being depleted by people dumping on you because it's burnt.
Exactly.
And how long do people have to wait until they can start receiving money from Carpe Diem, and which token
It's
are they given?
yes. So it's you deposit CDP,
Hmm.
and like with Hex, there is a small inflation. With us, it is 4.32%,
Hmm.
and that's divided amongst all the pensioners. This means currently there is about 8% payout per year.
Hmm.
But this, of course, this goes down as more and more CDP gets deposited.
Hmm.
On
And
the other hand, like with Hex,
uh-huh.
what we are seeing now is that the more gets deposited, the less is available on the market and the more the price will rise, and
Hmm.
thus your pension capital will also increase.
Interesting. Right. It's interesting that you're talking about scarcity and supply and demand, right?
Yes, that's an interesting. Yeah, that interested me.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's also the link I see between our two projects.
mhm.
While yeah, we are both focusing on this uh, yeah this thing.
I would love to make the supply of dark scream because of the pressure that people are putting on it. I want to see at what point does it just snap, right?
Yeah, it's called the
How
rapture.
how high can it go before there's just not enough economic energy to sustain it, and it crashes down a little bit, before taking off again. That's the part that I couldn't get out of my head until I brought this out to the world. I had this sitting. I had this. It was just bugging me. Like a voice inside your head almost. That sounds too crazy, but I thought, why haven't people combined the this treasury model and the T-shares and this together? There's like 3 or 4 tokens that I kept thinking. It was almost like, how come nobody's combined chocolate and peanut butter, right? How come no one's
Yeah,
paired wine and cheeses together? It was like someone who saw that idea and was like, it drove me kind of a little bit insane that no one was doing it. And I thought for a long time while we were working on this, someone
yes.
would beat me to market.
You
Someone's gonna
know, I had that. I My project took about 2 or 3 years to develop. I was very anxious because it's a really simple idea.
hmm
It's
Yeah.
basically permanent staking, you
hmm
could say, or burn and earn,
Yeah.
as I would like to call it. And this is very simple,
Yeah. Yours is,
very simple
yes, concept.
concept. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Because
it's you know there's so much risk that someone makes it in a bad way and beats you to it. And I
right.
think
Well,
there
but
might be people who have had this idea,
sure.
but I haven't seen it being used in a good way yet.
Yes. 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 And here's the other thing I learned about about crypto. Um, Nobody's building. Nobody's working. Everyone wants to be the first one in and the first one out. They want to front run people. They want to trade. They want to get rich tomorrow, right? That's by and large most crypto people. But the number of coders is so few. Like coders that really know how to do their stuff, like our coders, there's not a lot of them, especially when it comes to blockchain development because it's new. I've met a ton of coders that are coders in the traditional languages, but coders in smart contracts and blockchain, like that takes a special skill that hasn't been around that long. And so if you find a dev that can do what you want them to, they have like 128 other people banging down their door, right? So like
Yes.
unless you're very wealthy, which I am not very wealthy, I'm
Yeah.
financially free, which is a blessing. I'm not putting it down, but I'm just saying, like you basically got to be like a millionaire, multi millionaire with cash to burn to keep these devs busy, or they're going to go elsewhere.
And yeah, not only that, but there's also the factor that why would devs build for you when they could just build things
Build
for
for themselves.
themselves?
And here's
And
yeah
95% of all the devs are scammers. So
yes
I have been scammed by multiple devs. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars
yep
by it. And I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, just don't start with it. It's really you really have to have a really strong vision. You have to really believe that what you are building is
Mhm.
something that the world needs.
Yeah, or it is,
Because
you're not
you
gonna
are
make
going to burn a lot of money, a lot of time. Yeah, so it has taken a lot of my life, but
mhm.
I believe it's for the good.
Yeah, and the other part, like I said before, was the network effect of the community, Because even if a dev took my idea and finished it and stole it and went and did their own thing, they would still have to build a community, right? And most devs are good with math, but they're not that great at talking or presenting, sharing, marketing. So when you find a dev that's good at marketing, they're killing it. But usually you don't find both in the same model. And you can copy code and paste it, even if you tweak it a little bit so you don't get in trouble, but you can't copy and paste a community. And that's something that we realized very early on in Hex, because Hex had like 5 or 6 copycats in the first 6 months trying to vampire attack the Hex community. And some of them, they did some damage and they took some people away. But by and large, people stayed because of the relationships and the friendships and the bonds that they had inside that community. Whether or not they liked Richard Hart or had faith in Richard Hart, they had faith in their fellow Hexicans. And even with all the infighting and insanity that we've seen, waiting for in this brutal bear. This is my 3rd cycle, and I've never seen stuff this crazy. I've never seen it go this
people
low.
are going mad.
Continue to
Really,
go down. Yeah, because you're like, it can't go down any lower, and then the next week it does, and you're like, okay, it can't go down any lower. The next week, and this happens for 2 years straight. For 2 years, you're telling everybody, this is the bottom. Trust me, this is the bottom. It's got to be the bottom. It's not the bottom, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
We won't know the bottom until we go up. It's the hindsight tells you where the bottom is.
To be honest, I thought that the bottom of Hex was going to be 10 cents or
That's
something
what
like
I
that.
thought too. No. I told everyone I knew. I said, there's no way Richard Hart is going to let Hex go below 10 cents. That's the new bottom. And then it dropped way below 10 cents. And I said, okay.
But I still
like,
believe that
is the bottom.
that should have been a fair amount, 10 cents.
Mhm.
So
I believe that
right
was
now,
what
if
the value was.
if it's below 10 cents, it's a great deal.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
Exactly. I agree. I totally agree with that. Cryptic Cat says, I noticed bigger, which we had just increased also. Yeah, on that payout table on the lottery, it's still taking the whole amount that's left in the lottery box, and it's still dividing it into those percentages of big, bigger, biggest. So if you look at the total amount, that's actually the true amount that's going to be coming out in 8 days. Right there, or being given out in the lottery in about 8 days. Can't wait to see the biggest drawing. Neither can I, man. If I win the lottery, I'm gonna mint more fuel cells. Big brain. Oh, that brings me back to a point I was gonna ask you. So obviously the move or the way to make the most money with Carpe Diem would be to take your payouts and continue to just roll them back into the protocol. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's a 15% bonus when you do that.
Oh,
So,
wow, that's great incentive.
Yeah, 15. So not 50, but I'm not sure if you heard that.
I heard 50. 15 is still great. 15
Yes, so 50 would be too crazy. Yes, but it's only 15, but it's still a great incentive, and the goal should be to deposit every month so your pension capital grows. So what you want to do is you want to hire your passive income, your passive pension income. And as you can claim it every day, you can compound it. So it costs you less to build your pension faster. And then you get also another 15% bonus on top of it. So that's
15 going in, 15 coming out. Right?
So if you deposit let's say $100 every month, that's, by the way, it's also called dollar cost averaging without telling people to dollar cost average. We just say, well, you build your pension every month. You deposit a fixed amount. You buy a certain amount of CDP for it, and you have a certain payout. And in the beginning, this payout will be very low. So you can roll over this payout, get 15% extra, and the next month your payout will be double. And then you can roll over that again, and it will grow eventually.
Yeah, I can see how it moves. It's not incremental, it's actually exponential. It's like compounding interest.
Yes, exactly. And if you then also count along the price performance, then it's going to be insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like I said, you can turn your private keys over to your children. You don't have to go through
Exactly.
them, or you don't have to ask permission, no permissions. You don't got to ask
Exactly.
permission. You can hand those keys down there. There's no middleman involved, right?
Exactly. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's really, I wish normal pension funds had this. I mean, it's so, yeah, it's trustless. You manage your own pension,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter what you do, who you are. The pension is always there for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you,
Well, it's better. It's better than that because if if I'm in America and I've got a 401k, I'm still trusting human beings and middlemen to manage the 401k, to pay it out, to not go bankrupt, to not steal and embezzle the money. I'm trusting a lot of people to do a lot of stuff. I'm trusting the government not to print me into inflation insanity, right? Where
yes,
in Carpe Diem, you're trusting the code. You're trusting math.
exactly, yes. So everything is just hard written in stone, so to say,
Yes.
and
And your code is
it's
immutable, yes.
predetermined. Yes, it's immutable. There are some administrative functions,
Mm-hmm.
but the way these are coded is that everyone can call these functions once certain conditions are met.
Okay.
So in that case, yeah, it's still immutable. The contract's code cannot be changed.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, it could happen that someone loses access to his keys, or someone dies and didn't hand it over to the children.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, you would have a pension that is still accumulating income, and which is going nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
and it will lower the income for all the other pensioners. So
Oh, okay, okay.
to mitigate this problem, we inserted a deadline of about a little more than 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
1,111 days.
Okay. So if it goes inactive for about 3 years,
Yes,
then it
exactly.
kicks in.
Then
So you gotta hope
your
that your
account
prison.
is at risk. Anyone can destroy your account, and
Mhm.
you will still get your income that has built up during these 3 years
Mhm.
to you, but your participation in the system will be removed.
Oh, I was about to make a joke that if you're gonna go to jail, make sure your sentence is less than 3 years. So when you get out, you can keep it active. But you're saying once it goes inactive, and if someone does come back with the keys, they can receive what's been built up during those 3 years.
Uh, the I'm not sure what you mean exactly, but
So if something goes inactive for about 3 years, then
yeah,
what happens?
then anyone else can deactivate your account,
Mm-hmm.
but the coins that the interest that has built up
Mm-hmm.
will be returned to the original owner.
Okay, so all the interest will go back to the original address, but it's
Yes,
kind of like people can do and staking or good accounting in hex. Like other people can step in and say, hey, I've noticed that this thing's hit the 3-year mark, so I'm gonna put a pause on it, and basically it makes that account, like I said, it keeps the interest that it made during those 3 years, but it's not getting paid out anymore and hurting the other contributors.
It's not. Basically, you shouldn't go to jail for longer than 3 years. That's
Before, if
or you should.
Yeah.
I think there might be some ways to implement it in a second layer.
Mm-hmm.
But
very interesting.
Yes,
and these are the
it has
things
to
that,
be seen what's built in the future.
Yeah, because there's all these, well, what if somebody does this? Well, what if somebody does that? And coding the what ifs is insanely hard. Diehard Hexakin says, I'm with you, Tracy. They have us hooked now. Warrior says, dark pump incoming. And dark pump incoming from Maher Singh Pamar. I will retire from teaching. I'm here for the cult. A no-pat and a bathrobe. Love you, Max. I love you too. When streaming in emergency calls, you just got to be there for your community, right, Sealy? You just got to get in front of the camera and go,
Yes.
This is not helping my hangover. Hi, believe in yourself. Cheapest J1 fuel cell I can see is 5 million pulse. Ooh, so Red Squirrel's measuring fuel cells in pulse now. That's next level right there. Nice. Yeah. Hi, Randy's mom. I love Believe in Yourself's background. He has there. That is awesome. I asked Grok to make the background for me. Oh, that's cool. It's cool. Cheaper after the lottery for dark, just my opinion. See, these people, I'm reading these comments, and these people have probably already gone to bed or gone to get something to eat or something like that. I don't know if they're still listening, but we'll go through all these cheap after each lottery for dark, just my opinion. Yeah, because people are going to dump after every lottery. There's going to be a certain percent of people that are going to take profits for one reason or another, and when they get that flush of dark matter that is liquid, I think that you could get a deal possibly after those. I sent the data in Telegram. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, it matches what's on top. That's you, correct? You're the one that put the data in our Telegram.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
It's silly is like an abbreviation of my.
I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name, but I can say Sylvan or Silvan.
Yeah, Sylvan is better.
Sylvan, good. Yes. Vets and Cryptos here, bang. Good to see you. Likewise, diehard. It's about 200 per 50 scrapes, like you said, and on average. Maybe pause the scrape button to save some evil address for J3 lottery. Well, that's a very interesting idea, and I'll tell you why we don't have to save any. The reason we don't have to save any is because the evil address is going to most likely win about half of that, because he's half of the fuel cells. So it should actually snowball, depending on how many people sell and how many and what ratio win that they have, right, Sealy or Sylvan?
Yes, it's an interesting play, because the evil address is programmed to mint less and less fuel cells every new journey. Mm-hmm. But we can assume, because the dark gets rarer and rarer, that the participation of other users, we can call them retailers or whatever, that they also are decreasing. Mm-hmm. But what happens if people start participating more? Then they will outplay the evil address, maybe.
Yep. And this whole time, depending on people's human, like there's a lot of human behavior that you can graph, or you can game war play or gameplay in your mind. What's the word? There's a word. It's English and I don't know what it is. But anyways, you can basically visualize or simulate, that's the best word. You can simulate what will happen with different types of human behavior, but there's so many types of human behavior in dark that it really is unknown. We don't know how many people are going to mint. We don't know how many people are going to scrape their lottery. We don't know how many people are what people are going to do with their lottery, and we don't know how many people are going to vaporize and what they're going to do with that dark. There's so many unknowns. There's so many variables in these simulations, which, don't get me wrong, I know that some genius out there, like Sylvan here, can probably throw all those scenarios out into this beautiful graph and show if then. And I think eventually our community will get to the point where we do have a lot of analytical sites and a bunch of different people that spring out, just like with Hex, right? I mean, I've never met Richard Hart, but Hex changed my life so much that I retired from truck driving, and I got this beautiful tattoo on my shoulder that I carry with me everywhere I go. I mean, it's probably the best part about me taking my shirt off in public, to be honest. But I was able to retire from truck driving. I came home, I bought the YouTube equipment, and I just started evangelizing. Now, Richard had he might have known this stuff was going to happen, but the truth is he just built a community, launched a product, and let it go and let it see where it goes. And so we do not know what the people in this community are going to do. I do know that there's only a handful of percentage of dark that's not in the hands of smart contracts in Wales already. We're like 90 days into it, and I don't know. Have you studied the amount of Hex that's not in liquidity providing whales or smart contracts? Sylvan?
No, I haven't really looked at the distribution.
It's very hard because the pull chain scanner sucks. I'm not going to lie.
I have experienced it myself. I mean, the price is already quite good, and I tried to buy myself some dark, and it was, there was not a lot available.
No, and I think there will be a lot less available once people hear about these insane winnings that people get from lotteries. So like I said, imagine that your chances of winning are roughly 1 in 20. It's not exactly, but it's close to 1 in 20. Let's say that you win the average of 1 in 20. And let's say that you hit the biggest payment at the end of a journey, and it not only returns you your original 20. I'm losing my voice. I've been talking so excitedly. It not only returns the original 20 fuel cells to you, but you actually get bonus fuel cells. And now imagine that the price goes up because it's become more scarce. That's just, I'm saying there's so many cool mechanisms that I don't think people will understand.
The lottery is just a thing on top.
Yes. Yeah, the lottery is icing on the cake. It's a bonus. It's a dopamine hit.
And what's really interesting is the fuel cells itself, that they accrue interest over time, and that you cannot claim that unless you vaporize, or in other words, destroy your fuel cell, break it open. It's like a fortune cookie. You only get a fortune once you break the cookie.
Well, and actually, I would disagree with that on one point, and that point is that you can sell your NFT to someone else, or if we possibly are able to tokenize the NFTs in the future, you can trade the PRC20 token that is attached to that journey's fuel cell, right? So
that's a good
you can actually take profit without destroying the fuel cell, without vaporizing at that point. That's what I would love to get to, the point where the economic energy stays in the fuel cells. Granted, you're going to have some people that are like, oh, it's too much trouble. I've got 1,000 fuel cells. I'm just going to vaporize 10, right? That's going to happen in the future. And no one knows what the mystery box or the evil address are going to do with their fuel cells.
But it's like...
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure how it's going to play out, because we have this experience with Maximus already, with Hex. And if you look at the fair value of Maximus, it's way higher than that it trades for already. And it will be increasing even more because it's the best stake out there. But still, people don't want to to buy it. I mean,
What is the price?
really, if you want to buy hex or stake hex,
Mm.
the best way right now, yeah, I shouldn't have said this
No, you
because
can say it
I
because
am going to shoot in my own foot. But if you wanted to buy a hex stake with a lot of T-shares, now you cannot because of Richard Hart staking so much, or I mean the Pulse X sacrifice wallet.
right. Well, at times in
Yeah.
the past when I've gone to load up on some Maximus DAO token, the liquidity's been so thin that you can only take little bites. I don't know if it's increased since then, but it's kind of like Darley. There's not a lot of it for sale when I went to look for getting some of that.
But still, I mean, if you can get it at a discount and you're looking to stake, make a long stake anyway. I mean, there are so many um, positives about Maximus. The only negative, which I would consider is quite a thing, is
Mm-hmm.
that it's a second layer,
Mm-hmm.
and every layer on top can break. So the less layers you have, the better. But a lot of um, a lot of developers have seen the code and approved it. So I think it's quite a safe second layer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But Maximus DAO is a really good play on T-shares. And we were down in Panama with the actuator guys, and the actuator guys have basically turned the T-share into a tradable commodity or like a derivative. You know what I'm saying? To where you can trade, you can arbitrage between longer stakes and shorter stakes. And it's making everything very liquid and easy to do. Which when the HSI stakes came out, yeah, you could buy and sell stakes. But I mean, I was on I coasted out Pro last night looking at their auction, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, wait, how many T-shirts are in this one? Because it's not uniform. It's not very fungible, right? But
Yes.
if these fuel cells are all scraped of their lottery winnings, then they will be fungible because they'll all be uniform and they'll all have the same earmark from the treasury. So you could have a J1 token and a J2 token and a J3 token, and they would all give you the right to redeem one full fuel cell from that journey. That's where we're like driving our devs right now and looking towards the future is like the easier we make this for people not to vaporize, the more we can hold that economic energy in the balloon, So that's just some thoughts to throw out.
Yes, that's an interesting thought, indeed. I mean, that's the fact that these NFTs are also tradable makes it like enables a lot of game theory.
Well, and it blows the doors off liquidity providing because everyone says, well, I want this ratio. I want a ratio. If this has a $1 million market cap, I want 10% liquidity or whatever it is. That whales and people have their formulas where, I mean, and I get it. You want to know that you can take profit when you want to without, pushing the price against yourself. I understand that part of people saying it doesn't have enough liquidity. But once the NFTs become a liquid token or they're tied to a liquid token, then there's a lot less. Then that adds an insane amount of liquidity to the.
Yeah,
to the market.
that's an interesting idea because NFTs are horrible to sell on the market because every NFT is sold separately, and if you have a
Yeah,
token, you can just add a liquidity pool, just simple as that,
mhm.
and then you can deposit that token in a contract and get
Yeah.
one of the NFTs out.
Yeah, because I mean, when the marketplaces for NFTs came out and people were buying and selling Bored Apes for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, there was that collector rarity part to it. But the very first thing I thought of when I saw people trading digital art for big amounts of money was money laundering, right? Because for centuries, the rich have been able to use real estate and fine art and other products that are not available to the lower classes, and they can move money around by buying and selling whatever they want, and they can bribe people to say, yes, this is an original painting by so and so, this is an original statue by so and so. But the truth is, there's no, like, it's almost been like this little loophole of being able to pay yourself without getting hit with taxes or paying the crown. And now when I saw it go digital, I thought, oh my gosh, I could hypothetically I could sell a drawing of a pony to myself for $1,000. And now it's earned income. It can be, well, I mean, I don't know technically, but you could basically say, oh, I got this for selling this picture of my horse. But really, you were just buying it from yourself because it's the blockchain and anyone can buy from anyone, right?
Yeah,
Anyways, that's a tangent that I just went on when I first saw the marketplaces. The marketplaces are not easy to use. It's hard to tell if you're getting a good deal. And unless you're a millionaire baller that wants to show off by buying fancy rich things like JPEGs, then it's most people don't go into the NFT marketplaces ever.
No, I mean there are only a few NFTs that are merely JPEGs that are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Many collections were never fully minted, or many just didn't took off at all. But the technology behind an NFT is, of course, very interesting because it can add uniqueness, but
Yes.
the uniqueness in data, not in an image. Because an image, the fun thing, or well, it's not really fun in reality, is that the only thing that's not on the blockchain is the image. So currently, most of the NFTs luckily are on IPFS, so that's also decentralized. But there are also many NFTs which just have a picture on a centralized server. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest here, the the journey.
Journey 2 isn't even showing up, right? The link's not even
No, I mean
full transparency.
these
Ours is just
these
sitting on a server with a link. Our metadata
exactly
is just being
the
called.
anti-gravity
Yeah.
NFTs are also on the centralized server.
Yes,
But
they
the
certainly
thing
are.
here is the picture that is shown isn't the most important thing because it has utility.
Yes. And granted, we do want to take every measure we can going forward to make them as as secure as possible. Mostly just because you don't want someone going and replacing the image with something obscene or something that's going to bother people. And so the IPFS is a much more secure route, which we've been talking to our devs and a few other people in the community about. But that's a very good point about the NFTs. Believe in Yourself said you might be in Japan. They're slowly phasing out fax machines in Japan. I had no idea. Truth. Community with Hearts by Hex PNW. Oh, my sister from another mother. Crypto Compassion, my brother from another mother. Hey, everybody. Good to see you here. This is the link right here for the Carpe Diem site, correct?
I'm not sure. Can I see that?
That's the only thing I've
Okay.
posted in a while. But that is a link there to the Carpe Diem website. Check that out. Good evening, everyone watching from the beginning. I hope you're doing a 2x,
Yes,
but
right.
not when I get too excited. Good to see you, Randy. Hi, Randy. Tell me your secrets. Fast Abdul's in the house. There is a CDP farm on 2Fox. Is this true?
Yes, that's
Ooh.
a bit hiding, but there is one. Yes.
So if you participate in the farm, do you get the same benefits of doing the pension, or do you just get the return from?
No, it's just for liquidity providing. So the pension is a permanent thing, but you can liquidity is kind of a semi-liquid thing. If you have liquid CDP and you want to earn yield on it with a bit of risk, you can provide liquidity. Interesting thing is that this pool, it's it's 2Fox utilizes the Fox ecosystem, and that's based on Balancer. And
Mhm.
Balancer is a special kind of DEX in which it can include not two but more tokens, and it can also customize the weight of it. So what we did here in this pool, most tokens would do like 80% their token and 20% Pulse, for example.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what we did, but I think it was 50% PLS,
Mhm.
30% Hex, and
Mhm.
20% CDP. So only 20% of it is CDP, which
Yeah.
means if people buy CDP, there's not much CDP available.
Mhm.
So the price goes up faster. If they sell, there is a lot of Hex and PLS to sell against, so the price dumps less. That's the theory behind it.
Okay, that's cool. Randy says, "What's up?" Without Pulse Chain launching, it probably would have been 10 cents. I don't know 10 cents, but 5 cents at least. Like I don't, because that really did dilute the value at the worst time to dilute value, right? As the market was going down is a really bad time to dilute value and do things like that. So is this new stream? Are we still wearing a robe? No, this is the same stream. We're over 3 hours on this stream. We went live earlier, and the collection hacked the evil address, but it didn't hack the right front end contract. So we had to sync some stuff and give the collective a little hand on hacking and kind of be like the inside guy, if you will, like the mole. And so we had to give it a little bit of help, but the collective did do that. We're going to get Max a pipe. Pulse Ray Hefner. Sick robe. Thank you very much. Coin Chef. That's also a sister from another mother. Love you, Lindsay. Believe in yourself. I just came back inside from vaping. I was out there too long. This is getting racy. Oh man, bags are going to grow. Over 3 hours of streaming today. I've been here since this morning. LOL. Oh my gosh, that's so kind
Nice
of you to
one.
keep us in your ear. I'm not sure if you're working today or not, Hex PMW, but we appreciate all of you and all the support. Like I said, it says we got 100 viewers, but most of these people have most likely checked in on Twitter and checked out. But StreamYard does not tell you the actual viewer rate. It does. I think it keeps track on YouTube, but not on Twitter. So, well, it went up and down there for a bit. Love you too. Oh, thank you so much. So, that being said, I mean, I'm gonna try wrapping this up just because I don't
Yes.
I don't
Should
think
I
anyone's
give
gonna
one
watch this
more
whole thing.
interesting
You know what?
uh,
Do you know what it was? Is I missed that.
interesting number?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So in um, the smart contract for the lottery payouts, there is a value that's called total pending payout. This
Mhm.
total pending payout is basically telling all the payout that hasn't been claimed yet by people.
And is
We
that
don't
claimed
know,
by
of
the
course,
lottery or the treasury?
the lottery.
Okay, thanks.
So we don't know who claimed and who didn't,
Mhm.
but there is a fair chance that some or most of it belongs to the evil address.
Yeah, the evil address
And it is certain
a lot.
that the evil address cannot own more than this because there is no more payout than that. So this you could see this as a maximum that could, in theory, be added to the last lottery. So this value currently is 15,000.
Well, yeah, and right now, if you look at the
50.
screen here, it's 18.8.
Yes.
I thought
So
it was
it's
only going to be 18.5. So are people still scraping?
so it could, if this 15,000 is owned by the evil address alone,
Mhm.
it could populate the lottery to about 33,000 dark.
33,000
Yes.
dark.
I think that's not really realistic, but maybe it
Dude,
can come close, you know?
I just did a successful scrape of 50, it says right there.
Yes.
If I go back to lottery, yeah, now it's 19,000.
Yeah.
This this could be the most insane giveaway on Pulse Chain's history to date.
Yeah,
This
I have
is really silly.
some tools I'm not going to declare, but
Okay.
I can see into the evil address basically. So I
Yes.
see that the next 50 fuel cells, which will be scraped, are going to provide 217.538 dark into the lottery.
No way. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's scrape it. If someone else,
I think.
I gotta cancel this and read.
I'm not sure if it's random.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just scrape it or?
No, I canceled because it had the number 4. So I think you have to refresh the screen.
It's random because every time I refresh the page, it displays another value. But
Yeah,
it's always around 200. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less.
Yeah, you might have to refresh the screen in between each scraping.
Yeah,
but we'll see if this one goes through.
I think it will pick a random.
All right, there's our little jingle. And then right up here, we should see a success or failure. Successful.
Yeah, success.
So that one was, let's go back here. And yep, it went up by about 217. Whoa, this is bananas, guys. Absolutely crazy. Like I knew that the evil address had like a lot of winnings because of seeing, the earmarked amount go up so high compared to the amount in the jackpot. But I did not know it was this much money, or this much dark, I should say.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's insane. And look at the price. The price of right here. Let's go back to USD. The price is down to 13.57, guys.
Nice.
13.57.
I think I might be buying some more.
Dude, the liquidity that was 400K is 251K now. And I'm guessing that the price of Hex is in a free fall, because if you look at this in price of Hex, look at that insane candle right there.
Yeah.
So
that might be a theory.
Even though right now the pink mist whale is sitting at a permanent loss of 150 grand, he's actually up over 10% in Hex. So he's increased his Hex by 10% in that pool. Bananas. I'm going to have to get some bananas here on streams. I say it so often. But look at that, dude. 13.57. Oh, that's crazy. Like Richard Hart is shaking the hell out of that tree. Let's look at the pulse. So here's dark. Yeah, dark and Hex. Let's actually look at this the Hex pair here. And this one has $4 million in liquidity, V2, and it's testing the all-time lows. Or are these the all-time? No, this is not the all-time low at all. The all-time low for P-Hex is around a third of a penny, I believe. Yeah, I don't think it gets much lower than a third of a penny since its existence.
It has basically undone the pump of last week.
Yeah, all of that, gone. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Every time we've had a lottery, it's been on one of these Black Swan events or sell event activities. Just bananas. Oh wow. Yeah, it went down to 1.1 cent, and now it's at 12. Geez, so Hex. Oh, that's the one I wanted to look for really bad. Was Maximus DAO. and see what kind of liquidity is over there in Maximus. So here's the Maxi on Pulse, right? Oh, this one has 91K liquidity in V2. And this one this one is on Ethereum. That one has 50K
Right.
liquidity. So there's 91K liquidity, which is not that bad right now. And it's paired
Right.
with PulseX, not Pulse. How interesting is that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay. Well, what's the price? It's still trading. It's not
It's
really
like
trading
the
at a
same
premium.
as Hex, but it has accumulated a lot. It's the fair value. You can see that at Hex Scout, I think. Hex Scout has a
yeah.
great.
Well, I can see it in PulseX right here.
I think Hex Scout had a. Yeah, a tab that says pooled stakes, and then you
That's
see Maximus.
Look, and it's going down as we speak. It's still falling. 11 cents.
So
Or
Maximus
no,
has a
1.1 penny per Maximus.
42% discount.
So it's 42% below where
Yeah,
it should be,
it's
simply based on the interest that it's accrued.
yeah. So it's
How come we're not hearing about this from
it's
the
almost
streamers?
it's fair value. The backing
Mhm.
value is almost 2 hex, so it should be 2 times as high. But it's
Oh my
it's
gosh!
equal.
So if you just swapped your hex for Maxi right now,
Yeah,
you would in hex terms you would already be up 40%.
yes,
If the
exactly.
if the monsters
If you are willing to wait until the 17th of July 2037, that is.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, definitely. But I'm thinking like this. Usually, this premium that Maximus DAO has is higher than that. Because look at this, regular hex just went to like 2 cents, right? It didn't go to 3.5 cents like Maximus DAO did.
I'm not sure.
I mean, it's still below its premium, but it also pumped harder than hex when hex pumped.
Yes.
Ooh, we're giving away too many good secrets here, buddy.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I should not.
We should
not
end
have
the
gone into
stream.
this. And look, we got the red candle is hitting our teddy bear head for our little bear dump, and now we know that Jiminy Christmas, even at 1331, I mean, we're looking at. I think people have stopped hitting this button because we're still at 19,263. No, but I think everyone's like, I'm not paying $1 a pulse to pump that. But yeah, that 19,263 times $13.30. Oh my gosh, this is insane. $250,000 right there on the line at today's prices in 9 days, 6 hours, and 52.
Yeah, that's
9 hours,
crazy.
9 days, 6 hours. That sell pressure is going to hit the market, and like I said, if the pulse pink mist well, pulse and liquidity, all bets are off. All bets are off. Whatever you think if you think you know what's going to happen, including me, you're wrong. We're probably all wrong with what we think is going to happen when it pays out.
You know, but I mean, you last time when I joined the system, it was also it was the third lottery of Jordy 1. And you also said it's going to dump. Do you remember what happened?
Yeah, we had a giant green hammer candle.
Yes, exactly.
Like people were like, no, I'm scooping this up. Because people, like I said, in crypto, tokens can go higher than you think they can, and they can go lower than you think they can. And they can stay there longer than you think they will, right? So like you can be very, very wrong about crypto, but you can still make a lot of money by hanging on and believing in something that has a good community and that you think has true value over time, you know. And seriously, I'm referring to Hex and Maximus Down right now. Those are very interesting sales today. I mean, don't get me wrong, $13 dark is insane. I know people right now that are just aping in with like 5-10 grand.
Yeah, I mean with Johnny 3 on the line, and knowing that this this evil address is now teared open and can roll over all these winnings into the next lotteries of Journey 3.
Yes. So
who doesn't want to buy dark in order to mint more fuel cells for Journey 3?
You don't have enough dark. You don't have enough fuel cells. I say this all the time. You don't.
Exactly.
You don't.
And people will get this.
Just like you don't have enough t-shirts.
Run the pump.
Yep.
Just like last time.
You don't have enough t-shirts. You just don't for what's coming up. I mean, this is a gift. I mean, a lot of people are probably freaking out today because on paper they're down very deep. But as far as this is going, like if I want to share this one more time with you guys. One more screen share. That's something I showed you a little bit earlier. And I just want to show you guys the dark in Hex right here. Dark in Hex going down. And then you flip it in Hex. Now, if you win a bunch of dark in the next lottery, or if you mint in the third lottery coming up and you win in the first lottery, then you could be getting some dark that are worth a lot of Hex. Possibly. Don't get me wrong, this is not financial advice, and this could, turn around completely. Like you might be underwater with any of these trades. But if I'm looking at some of these graphs and some of these patterns, just like in PTGC and the alien tech community, where they really like to show off that art chart against Pulse, I believe that dark may someday melt some faces. That's all I'll say. It's just crazy, absolutely nuts, man. Dude, I can't. If anyone's been here through the whole stream, like Jonathan Kampala, my brother from another mother, badass stream. I listened to the whole stream. That's insane. That is insane. And I'm betting that if Randy started at the beginning, he's definitely got this thing on 2x, because he's probably like, what? How long is this dude going to stream? What is going on? And the truth is, software is hard. So when we try to do a big announcement, sometimes it doesn't work, So
yeah.
Anyway, thanks so much for joining us again, Sylvan, and everyone in chat. We love you. We appreciate you guys being in our community. Telegram is where you're gonna find the first information from us. That's where I go first. I go to Telegram first, and then I go to Twitter to announce a stream, and 100 viewers. Like you guys are part of the inner circle here. Like, see, people talk about early mover advantage or stealth launch. We're almost 90 days into this. We're still a self launch. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. Wait, what happened? I just got here. TLDR, please. Patience is the king crypto. So TLDR, Rich Sainsbury, is that the evil address was hacked, and you can now go to agproject.io, click on tools. That'll take you to beta.agproject.io. Click on evil, and there's a button that you can scrape 50 of the fuel cells from the lottery and dump those dark matter tokens, back into the next lottery. So basically, the lottery was at was it 14,000? I want to say it was around 14,000.
Yes, it was 14,584.08.
Yes, and now it is at, let me refresh the screen, 17,000. So it's gone up Oh no, sorry, I was reading the
No,
wrong
it's
box. I'm reading the
19.
wrong box again. 19,000. So it's gone up 5,000, and how high could it go, Sylvan?
Potentially, if the evil address owns all of the unpaid
Mm-hmm.
winnings, it could go up by 15,000 more.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be 33,000 at the most.
I'm doing the math real quick on the airdropped fuel cells, and there's roughly 5,000 airdropped fuel cells, and so those fuel cells most likely won 240 of the lotteries, and with the average of the lottery being about 4, if you average them out, I think it's about 4, then that
Right.
would be 960. So there's about 1,000. I would guess that there's about 1,000 dark that have been paid out to airdrop recipients that haven't scraped. That's my rough guess.
1,000. So you would say that 14,000 belongs to the evil address.
That's my guess.
That's a
Which
lot.
would put us at how much?
I think 32,000 then, something like that.
Oh my god. Yeah, the people like Randy and Pink Mist Well that came in heavy and minted, all you people that minted could be very, very happy that you did. And I assume that everyone that has been around in this community that sees what happens is going to be minting as many
It's-
as they can.
Yeah, it's also a strategy to not to mint,
Mm-hmm.
because if you think, shit, I didn't put in enough fuel cells this journey, I'm going to. I don't want to to have it this journey, and I want it in the next journey.
Yeah, I'll just go in heavier in the next journey.
Exactly. Could be a strategy.
Yeah, you don't have enough dark. No, you don't have enough dark. You don't got enough fuel cells. You don't got enough T-shares. And if you're one of the, handful that are watching this, just between you and me and Sylvan, you don't have enough Maximus Dow. And you definitely hang on. What is this the amount of share in Carpe Diem called?
It's just shares or pension shares.
You don't have enough pension shares, people. You do not have enough pension shares. So take that information with you. Do your own research, not financial advice. I'm just a dude on the internet in a bathrobe and a no permissions hat that loves you with all my heart. Rich says, what is Maximus Dow? Maximus Dow was a super contract, a super stake. I think they got close to 230 million hex in it. It was a crazy amount of hex. And they all joined this giant super stake, and they maxed out the bigger pays better bonus, the longer pays better bonus, and then that was before the launch of Pulse Chain. So I believe it enables you, or what's the word I'm looking for? It gives you permission to retrieve the copies as well on Pulse. I could be wrong because I think Maximus Dow
Now
is also copied, right?
Yes, but there are now two Maximus tokens. If you owned it before the fork, then you would have it on both chains, like with Hex.
But it has
if you buy it now,
Yeah, go ahead.
You either buy the Pulse Chain version or you buy the Ethereum version.
Just like Hex.
Yes.
Do they have the same contract address then?
Yes. It's just copied over.
Okay. But if it's copied over, it'll say Maximus from ETH, I hope.
Yes, but that's like the bridged in version
Mm-hmm.
from Ethereum. But you have to go to Ethereum to claim it. I'm not sure how it works. I think only one person has to claim it, which is very gas efficient.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
One
I'm not
well
sure
known
if
for the
it's distributed automatically or that every token holder has to claim its part. But either way,
I think you have to redeem. I
I
think there's a
I
process
think
where you
as
have to
well.
go redeem.
Yes, that would be logical. But the
Well,
end stake is what cost the most gas fee.
These would be really good questions for Dip Catcher or Gold Key.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into any more details.
See, you're spilling it. You're spilling the beans. You said we don't have enough Maximus. Why would we need it? I'm so confused. Well, Maximus DAO is basically liquid T-shares, and so is the actuator tokens. Those HTT tokens from actuator, they're liquid T-shares. They're basically tokenized T-shares. And so if you want more T-shares, that's one way to arbitrage or get a good deal on a dip. I'm just saying.
Yes. Look
So that's about as much as
at
I feel confident sharing.
hexscout.com and then the front page market. You scroll a bit down and you see the pooled stakes. The most bottom one is Maxi,
Mhm.
and there you can see all the details you want to know.
Yeah.
Why it's such a good deal.
Okay, it has nothing to do with dark matter. Well,
No.
not
Nah.
necessarily. It's not one of our tokens or anything like that. However, because of Hart's law, it's deeply tied to the liquidity of Pulse and Hex. So, and Ethereum actually too, because it's on Ethereum. So, wow, I can't believe the blood that we're seeing in the market today. I really didn't think that Hex would ever go like back below penny and a half, but then again, it's crypto. It's crypto, man. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And look for good communities instead of flashy YouTube videos. Speaking of flashy YouTube videos, I'm gonna go out on our song on both things. I'm gonna go out on our cosmic typographical teaser from Red Squirrel, and then we're gonna follow that with the video from Rip City Hex. He put together an amazing video using music from Cape Figure and images from Zephyr Trips, Smo Spider, and Red Squirrel, and probably some others I forgot. If I forgot, I am so sorry. I don't mean to leave you out, but that's it. Ciao. We'll see you. I don't know. I might do a sleepy tea roulette tonight and double check and see how much more has been scraped. And if I do that, we'll only be on X because I want to play copyrighted music. And YouTube is a little bit of a baby about that. So thank you so much. Thank you, Sylvan, for being here. Is there any, where can people follow you and find you and get into Carpe Diem, Sylvan?
Yeah, you already shared the link, but it's on Twitter or in Telegram /Carpe Diem CDP.
Okay, and they can find you on Twitter under
And personally, I go under NL Silly. So NL is from the Netherlands.
Okay.
Basically.
Awesome. Yes.
All
right. Cool. Yeah. Follow him. Vote for Carpe Diem on Coin Market League each day when you vote for Dark and when you vote for Hex. And we love you.
Yeah,
Ciao.
and remember to vote, guys.
Yeah. Oh, we got a couple more here. It says I have 50 something from the evil address to scrape. What is it I got? Nothing. You have nothing. You just hit the scrape button and it pumps up the next lottery. So every time someone hits that, it scrapes 50 of the evil addresses winning lotteries and throws it into the next lottery. Adios from the Air Fryer Superstore. Thanks, Max. Later, fam. Hey, later. Love you. Peace. Good night. All right. Cool. Okay. Cool. Thank you. You bet, Rich. Thanks for being here. And
Nova is here, he's the leader of Alpha, leading the charge. Yeah. With his main man Heavy, hit up right by, hit his side at the raid. Together they fight, and guard the corner, rich and valor, fighting for good. They refuse to back down in this war for justice. They wear the crown. Nova and Heavy Hitter, they rise from the dust. Fighting for the cause, they never back down. With Big Boy Leroy, his feet firmly underground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. Through shadows of doubt, they light up the way. With power and purpose, they seize every day. Their enemy tremble in the dark. Nova and Heavy Hitter, our heroes embark in the big galaxy that's covered by night. They bring the fire and ammunition to ignite. For it's Alpha they serve, their honor was true. Nova and Heavy Hitter, they rise from the dust. Fighting for the cause, they never back down. With Big Boy Leroy, his feet firmly underground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. For every shadow, they bring the light. Nova and Alpha, defenders of the right.